HM Productions presents White Devil Podcast.
Welcome to White Devil Podcast, episode 14, the topic of which is the James Bond franchise. And here's your host, Hanu Makinen. Can you believe that Sean Connery actually did my introduction? That was cool. Anyway, welcome to the White Devil Podcast. Even though last time, of course, Retro Kaiser became the official co-host, sadly he could not be here, so we have his official stand-in. Please welcome Dorupka, the gaming beast.
What's going on there, fellow Beastians? Today I will be known as the guy, what was his name? Short hat. The guy with the hat.
Odd Job.
Odd Job, there we go. I'm Odd Job. So everybody's going to hate me because I'm smaller and I cannot be hit in GoldenEye, the game. So.
Okay. And also joining me for this podcast, the resident movie guy of its still time, head of Phoenix 8 Productions, all around an excellent guy to talk about movies with. I don't know how to use preposition properly. Please welcome Joe.
Hey guys, it's Joe. And I will be our Jaws for the evening. Everyone loves me and I never die in any of the films.
Yes. And I will be Nick Nack, and I will need to take this bottle of Tabasco for Monsieur Scaramanga. Sorry, I sound absolutely nothing like Hervé Villechaize.
There we go. We're the
Nick Nack?
minions.
Nick Nack from Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The midget.
Yeah, okay, yeah. God.
Oh, do we have to have the midget talk again? It's okay to say that Hervé Villechaize was a midget because he said that he was a midget and he hated the word dwarf. And he's dead now, so I guess nobody cares. Anyway.
You know, if they remade that, they'd have to have Peter Dinklage as Nick Nack.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man. Do you think Christopher Lee's too old to reprise his role?
The man's 90 years old and does metal albums, so I imagine he probably could.
Yeah, probably could.
If he wanted to.
Okay.
Although it'd be kind of weird.
Yeah, it would be really, really weird.
James Bond fights a man in traction.
Okay. Well, so today's podcast is all about James Bond. But before we get to the topic of the day, I wanted to just ask, and also, of course, Lindsay the Red was invited here. We hope that she will show up. She hasn't showed up yet, but I don't know. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But anyway, before we get to the actual meat and the topic of the day, the meat of the conversation is what I was trying to say. That came out completely wrong. So before we get to the topic of the day, I wanted to just ask our guests, my co-host, Dorupka, what have you been up to? What are you working on these days?
I just recorded yesterday another Warriors of the Wasteland Rifts RPG session, and I'm working on. I've got this new job, so I have been a little bit slacking on my production schedule for stuff. But I am working on some more of the Let's Plays that I've been doing. I got the footage. I just got to edit it and how you call it, render it. And I'm still working on things like the Beast Bar and the Beast Bar comic and things like that. But all these take a lot of time, which I don't have that much anymore in these days. But I'm working on stuff, so yeah. And of course, Beastcast is coming out next week, and the Next Round podcast too. So there's stuff in the schedule. So.
All right, and finally joining us is the female Red. Please welcome Lindsay.
Hello, just woken up.
So she literally just I looked at she sent me a little message over Skype and she said, "Sorry, I fell asleep." So welcome to...
I literally saw the time and I was like, "Oh no!" I'm sorry.
I hope Sean Connery won't be too mad with you. I'm really pissed right now over the situation. I'm very disapproving of you, Lindsay. You're a bad girl.
Well, he wasn't my
That does
favorite
not
Bond
sound
anyway.
That doesn't sound right when it's coming from
He
Sean
wasn't-
Connery.
He wasn't my favorite Bond anyway, so that's fine.
Oh, that's smart.
Shots fired.
Too bad I can't do a Roger Moore. Can anybody do a Roger Moore impression here? Nope.
Nope.
No.
Well, Roger Moore
I'd
sounds
let
very
me hear-
different
let me
now
hear.
than when he was than when he was Bond earlier. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. But yeah. So Lindsay's finally joining us, and Dorupka. Sorry, did we interrupt you too badly? So you're working on a
No.
no. It's just more Let's Plays and things like that. So yeah. So I suppose the XCOM Let's Play is going to continue pretty soon.
Oh yeah, I have still footage for that, and then I'll have to still record some new footage. I might change the drinking rules a bit. But oh yeah, speaking of XCOM Let's Play, I had also people from its tail time in there, including Fema Red, who is a sniper there. So, and you've been doing well. So, which is again weird to say, but yeah.
What?
Did you know that you're?
But that's how many people watch my Let's Plays. You see, that's the best.
You didn't know that you're in Dorupka's squad in XCOM, the video game.
I
Awesome.
put people. Yeah.
You
yeah.
do a Let's Play?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Hey,
I don't watch Let's Plays because I'm not a gamer. So
Yeah, he's
There you go.
excused. He's excused at least. But speaking of Let's Plays,
It's okay. I don't care. It's just,
at least I watch your stuff, Dorupka. Okay.
yeah. There we go.
At least I. But yeah, Lindsay, you of course,
Hi.
you've made your kind of return to YouTube. You came out with 2 videos recently, which was you restarted your Outlast Let's Play, and I also watched that you did a little tag video relating to cosplay, actually.
Yes, I did.
Yes, and anything else you got that you're working on right now?
I have more Outlast videos pre-recorded, so they're gonna be up relatively soon. And yeah, in one video I get completely scared by 2 crazy twins.
Yeah, I'm looking.
If anyone's played Outlast, they'll know which I'm on about.
Outlast is one of those games that I think a lot of the channels have actually made Let's Plays, and like I said, this was your restart of it.
I lost the save file from the first Let's Play, and plus I wasn't really happy with how the videos were made then as well, because I didn't have face cam, and also I had a lot of issues with the frame rate. So
yeah, I seem to notice that the production quality has gotten quite a bit higher from the from the previous ones. That sounds a bit weird for a YouTube video, but what I mean is that it feels strangely more professional actually. So
digging
Actually,
yourself
no,
a
I'd use
hole
my software
deeper
now.
and deeper.
what?
You're digging yourself a hole deeper and deeper.
I thought I heard you say something completely different, but sorry. It also had to do with holes, but different kinds of holes. Anyway.
I wonder how long until he digs to Brazil.
oh
Yeah.
my.
Yes, but I also like that cosplay video, and especially because I was a little confused honestly at first because I saw that preview card for the card that you see on YouTube for it, and
Thumbnails.
I see that brilliant red hair of yours, and I was kind of you looked quite a bit different, like you got a haircut or something, and then you do the next video and it's a wig, it's from your Poison Ivy.
Yeah, it's not my real hair. I wish it was, because one day I'm actually growing my hair out to that length. So one day.
And also, I watched that that cosplay video of yours actually with my sister Minna, with whom we're doing Let's Plays as well, and she really liked it because she too is a cosplayer, and this is a fun project that she's actually working on with her boyfriend / fiance. Is that I never know which one is the more appropriate thing to say, but her boyfriend is it's actually a big group Let's Play that they're working on with a bunch of other people. It's going to be Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter related, and
That's cool. Are they all going to be in cosplay?
yes, and they're going to sing also. So they're doing some kind of big performance thing. They're going to do Queen's "We Will Rock You."
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, yes, they're part of this big group, so it's a big group cosplay thing that they're doing. But yeah, so his boyfriend is going to be Vega, and Minna is going to be
wow.
M. Bison.
There we go.
She actually borrowed, because I have both the animated and the live-action Street Fighter movies on DVD. She actually borrowed them
live
for reference.
Live action, as in Jean-Claude
Yeah,
Van
the
Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme one,
Yeah,
where
the good,
Julia was
the better
Bison.
one.
I don't know if I've seen that one. I've seen the Chun-Li one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see,
but
that's
forget the
sad
Chun-Li
because
one,
that's
but
what sucks.
forget the Chun-Li one, because in that Bison was just a schmuck.
No,
too.
well, I need.
but yeah, but in the
I saw that one because I needed it for stock footage.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
there was like a video that I saw a few years ago of like casting book characters, and I just needed stock footage of the lead actress.
Oh yeah, Kristen Crick.
For,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have no idea how to pronounce her name. So, but anyway, like no, she borrowed the anime movie.
Lana Lang from Smallville. That's who she is.
Oh,
Lana Lang, yes.
okay, and
Doesn't
yeah,
look
so
anything like the comic book version, but okay. That wasn't my biggest problem with her. But anyway, I won't get into Smallville discussions.
It's for another podcast.
that's a dangerous subject to go into with a comic nerd in the fold.
Yeah.
But anyway, like, I borrowed her. She wanted the anime movie and the Jean-Claude one, because they actually have like the two different main versions. The anime movie has the ugly butt chin, roided up and Bison, and then Raul Julia is more like the lean original style Bison actually. So yeah, but she wanted those for source for like reference when she's making the costume. So
the costume is actually really good for the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. I mean, I know the movie has gotten a lot of flack by a lot of people, but I enjoy it to this day. I think you can make a better. It is possible, definitely, to make a better Street Fighter movie, but so far this is still. I mean. Anyway, I won't get into that.
We're drifting
My
off
friend
topic.
still finds it really funny that Kylie Minogue's in it.
Yes.
You know what? But she was perfect for Cammy. So.
We watched Neighbours, and then we watched Street Fighter.
There we go. But Cammy is supposed to be like a British, commando or something. And really, Kylie Minogue, in many ways, was the perfect casting choice for that. The worst casted person was Ken.
Despite her being Australian.
Well, Americans can't really tell the difference, but
yeah,
Americans and Europeans can't really tell the difference. Oh, well, except the British, of course.
It's what they did with the Dead or Alive movie when they cast Holly Valance as Christy. Because Christy is meant to
very much.
Christy is meant to be like English, and Holly Valance is Australian.
Yeah. You know how many people I managed to freak out when I tell them that Mel Gibson is actually Australian, and none of them want to believe me. And then yes, he is.
Of course, he's Australian.
He just does a very convincing American accent.
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Can't stand him.
He made some good movies. I mean, he's a crazy racist prick, but he made some good movies. So
he was a good villain in
violent.
Yeah, we get it. He is all that.
He was a good villain in Expedition. But anyway,
he
we're
has made some
completely
good
off topic.
movies, so.
Could we please get back to like what the stuff people are working on? Because I was about to go to Joe.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't make videos anymore. I swear to God, I am making things.
Okay.
I'm still working on stuff.
He's plotting to take over the world.
That's for Tuesday. Yeah. Nah, I actually have been rather busy. As you guys know, like when we were talking before recording, I have a job now and school, so I've kind of been focusing on those. Those kind of had to take priority. But I am still working on a few different projects. I'm, I do those Brony Critic videos. I'm just trying to make those work a little bit more. I even have a Patreon account for them now.
Nice.
Right. So I'm also doing a My Little Pony radio show, like an online radio show.
All right.
So that's what I've kind of been preparing for with the radio station associated with my website. We're kind of working on that. Let's see, some of the other things. I'm doing some more writing. I'm working on that audio play still, which is going to be going forward. The reactions people had for it were very, very high, so I'm gonna be going forward on it, just doing some script writing. And I've got
what's this radio play that you're working on? Have we talked about this before? I don't remember actually.
I don't know if I talked it with you. I've talked it with a few other folks.
Okay.
It is a Doctor Who My Little Pony audio play.
Okay, then.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Nice. Interesting.
it's a.
Bringing
It
both
sounds like
your
a really,
favorite two things together, basically.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as far as just trying to get, I just want to get some videos out, so I'm probably just going to do a lot more of those, those old vlogs where just randomly just get in front of a camera and talk about shit. So as long as I get something out, because I know it's been such a long, long time.
Yeah. And I would actually, I really would look forward to you making more of those review videos, because your review videos were really good. When you and
Yeah, I enjoyed them too. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, and it's just that, Sendu and I have just been really, really busy with our own things, trying to make sure everything's working. Because I know for a fact we still have the two guys in hats. We could keep on that for a while.
Yeah.
But, it's just getting time to meet with each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also you have
So,
to find hats.
I wear
go,
that
yeah.
hat every day, and like
My head's too big for
outside.
hats. I can't actually fit them on my
Same
head.
here. I don't
actually-
like hats for that reason, but also in general, I just don't like hats. I mean, I'm not bald, so why should I wear hats? I mean, I don't know.
I actually collect weird hats, so I wear them all the time.
And I live in Finland, so I have no choice but to wear a hat, because winter is a thing here. So.
Well, okay, I
Winter is
have a hat
coming.
when it's cold. Okay, so yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
No, winter has
Finland is
left.
the-
Winter has left, and it's good that it's gone.
Speak for yourself. Like it's about to get worse over here. So we had a really and I still actually my favorite hat right now is still the winter cap that I bought when I left Scotland that has the flag of Scotland on it. I still like it very much. So yeah. But usually I just wear a cap, basically. Okay. Anything else you're working on, Joe, or is that it?
Yeah, I do have all the things for Cinnamon Review. We have all the video collected. It's just getting down and editing it. Editing it is really the worst part of making any video. Because it's about a lot of effects. It's about making sure and coordinating with Sendu that his half of the video, since we're really doing one half of a review, each of us. So it's just kind of, he's doing a review of one of my things while I do a review of his, and they're supposed to come out at the same time.
Oh, okay.
That's what this video was always supposed to be. And he's doing a review of The Expendables, and I'm doing a review of I'm doing one of his Where Are They Nows about Lord Zed.
Oh, okay.
So
that's gonna be interesting.
Right. So that's kind of what we were doing. We were doing this collaborative, because after that we have that whole feud thing we were building up to, which the longest damn feud in internet history. 2 years. A fake feud for 2 damn years.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds interesting, and yeah, it's of course work. Yeah, work can really fuck your plans over. Like I had, what was it like between this and my previous podcast? I think I've done 2 beast casts. Or wait, what's the other one? The next round cast.
It's the next round cast, but yeah.
Yeah, I did 2 other podcasts, and but there was like a whole long period when I wasn't doing any review videos. I had a lot of let's play material left over. I was just pushing that onto the internet, and that was basically it. But yeah, work is definitely the hard part. I find that interesting that you don't like editing that much, then, Joe.
I like editing. I just find it very tedious. It's one of those things that it gets repetitive very quickly, and I'm kind of a spaz when it comes to certain things, so I have to keep my focus, particularly with the internet and just so readily available, because I read all the time. Like it's kind of geeky, but I'm a big fan fiction guy, so you put me in front of a fan fiction website and I need to be editing something, I will be on the fanfiction website for hours before I even get to editing, so I get distracted very easily.
Well, yeah, okay, I can understand that then. I usually, when I'm editing, I don't do anything else that I'm editing, but I actually have kind of the opposite. I always find everything leading up to the editing to be a whole big chore. But once that I'm editing, it's usually because I'm kind of on the home stretch. Like now I have all the stuff. I just need to make it fit like the voice track and everything. But okay, I guess it's different for, the different strokes for different folks, and or however that thing goes.
I like
Right.
editing. It's just I personally love it. Actually, it's just recent times I've been just really busy and really tired after work. So honestly,
What programs do you guys use?
Power Director is the one I use.
I use Sony Vegas.
Pro 12.
Yeah, I use Sony Vegas, whatever version. So 10, I guess.
I use Vegas Movie Studios.
Although recently, actually, I had to make a comeback to Windows Movie Maker. Actually, funny enough, because we
You
did
poor thing.
No,
Oh,
but
geesh.
the reason I had to do that is because we did a new cartoon with Aqualung just a little while ago, and that's what I used for animating. I used Windows Movie Maker, the old version, the XP, version.
It's actually Vegas is good for animations like that too. So yeah.
Interesting.
I went on Movie Maker a little while back, and after being on Vegas Movie Studio for so long, it was like looking at Vegas Movie Studio's dopey little brother.
Yeah, I really don't like the new version of Movie Maker, but like the current version, whatever it is, the whole thing that where it's all pictures and there's no like timeline or anything. Like I don't understand what the fuck that was. Who thought that was a good idea? But
Yeah, he was.
Although
on crack,
I'm very
probably.
happy I now have Photoshop. I'm glad with my new desktop I also was able to get Photoshop. So no more using PaintShop Pro. Everything I've drawn online, if you go to my DeviantArt, all that has been PaintShop Pro.
all right. And just to quickly to wrap up this introduction segment, so we can get to the actual meat of the podcast. Then I don't have anything like huge that people wouldn't have seen from my Twitter or anything like that. So yeah, in case people don't know, I actually have a Twitter account these days, where the whole point of that right now is to keep people up to date on what video I'm working on right now, because I really haven't had a place to post that thing. So people already know, and it's going to be out by the time this podcast is out, actually, is that I have finished a new top 10, which is my top 10 adventure games list. It's going to be out. We're recording this the day before it's actually going to come out, so that's why I know it's going to come out. But that was like a whole big deal. I finally got that done, and it was a whole lot of work, which is why I decided to take up 2 weeks to finally get that thing done and over with, because video capturing 10 plus games, not a fun thing to do.
Yeah,
Even
that
if they-
sucks.
even if they are adventure games and you can buy them pretty quickly.
That's why I haven't done yet the new port comparison video, because the first one was just a pain in the ass to make.
Yeah, and it's but yeah, that's coming out, and we have of course the Let's Plays and things. I don't know what my next big review thing ought to be. I'm kind of working on that, but so we're gonna have a more XCOM. We're actually gonna finally bring back the Heroes of Might and Magic 2 one, and actually Dorobka is gonna be on that as well.
Yep,
Joining me.
Sorry, finish.
Yeah, so joining me and Retro Kaiser on the Heroes of Might and Magic 2 Let's Play, and we're gonna be doing that. And this is the last and the big one. Finally, I am doing the Ocarina of Time Let's Play series.
Yay!
And yes, and I'm doing it with Minna and with a new N64 controller, which is awesome. So
Woo!
yes.
I'm still stuck on Master's Quest. It's way more different on the 3DS.
Oh man, I haven't played the portable ports of that, but yeah, or I guess it's the one port. But anyway,
It's really good.
yeah.
I've played every version of Ocarina of Time. It was the first video game I ever picked up.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Well, you picked white.
I thought you said you aren't a gamer.
I'm not, but it was the first. But Zelda
So
is my
you play
exception.
video games, but okay, so
Yeah,
you
but
play Zelda games.
That's one of the two. Yeah, that's one of the two Let's Play series that that have been forever in the making that I wanted to do. The other one that I still haven't, that still yet to have done because it's always gone wrong, and I've tried to do it, is the very first Sonic the Hedgehog. That's one that I gotta knock out of the park one of these days. Where actually, like, maybe we'll do that with Retro Kaiser. I don't know, but anyway, that's just what I'm working on. So a lot of whole Let's Play videos. But hey, now that we're done with the introductions, we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna do a little match game. And we're maybe going to talk a little bit about James Bond or something. I don't know why I suddenly got this accent all of a sudden. But anyway, see you soon, suckers. And welcome back to the White Devil Match Game. The match game where I read a puzzle to a contestant, and a panelist consisted of the two other contestants and myself this time around, because there aren't enough panelists, will give their answers, and the goal is to match as many people as possible to win a glorious prize, which is, get ready for this, it's going to be a good one, once I come up with what the hell it is, a lifetime supply of AA batteries. For whatever you want to use them for, your handheld gaming systems, your hair dryers, if such a thing
exists. That would be a bad price. That would be a good price, actually.
Yes. Vibrators, whatever.
Could we exchange it for a lifetime supply of printer ink?
Vibrators?
That would be expensive. That would cost more than the batteries.
Not much more, mind you, but...
Well, if you I guess I could whip something up. For
right, Stewie.
But without further ado, let's go on to the first contestant and the first puzzle. The first contestant is Lindsay.
Hello.
Yes, and the first puzzle, of course, as always in the match game, you have a blind choice, but a choice nonetheless of A and B. One of two puzzles, which has a blank in it, a funny story, a joke, something. And what these other the panelists have to do then is write their own answers. And so, Lindsay, you're the first contestant. Your choices are A or B. Which puzzle do you want?
Go for B.
Let's go for B. Oh man, this is a good one. Okay, here's the puzzle. Joe and Dorupka, get ready to write. Bob the Builder went to work with a hangover and was supposed to nail a picture to the wall, but instead he nailed his blank to the wall. Okay, did you all get that? Joe and
oh god,
ready to write, and I'll also write.
This is like a terrible, terrible game of Cards Against Humanity.
Hey, there's one game we should play on podcast.
That would be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Problem is, how many people would get offended?
Who cares? It's Cards Against Humanity. You go in to get offended.
Okay.
Okay.
I've written my answer.
Nailed his blank to the wall.
Yes. All right. All the panelists have given their answers. I'll read the puzzle one more time. No, Lindsay, you don't have to write.
Never mind.
Yes. Okay. But anyway, so you don't have to stick to that answer. You send me an answer, but you don't have to stick that one. I'll read the puzzle one more time. So, Bob the Builder went to work with a hangover and was supposed to nail a picture to the wall, but instead he nailed his blank to the wall. Lindsay, what is your answer?
Hand.
Hand. Okay. Joe,
Would
what
make
was your
sense.
answer?
Dick.
There we go. Kaiser.
Ew.
We were all thinking it. We were all thinking it.
No.
You can be proud of Joe. So.
Oh, man. I would say that was a very Kaiser-like answer, but maybe we'll come back to that in just a bit, because I'm curious to hear what Dorupka's answer is to this puzzle. What did you answer, Dorupka?
Okay, I actually wrote it to you, so I don't know. Like, he has nailed his ear on the wall.
Ear. Ear. Oh, man. Well,
I could have written the obvious one.
How would you even do that? I'm sorry. Now I gotta ask. How would you nail your ear? How long do you have to
He wanted an ear piercing, goddammit.
There we go.
Okay, Lindsay saved you from a Rotten Answer Award. But guess what? So, Lindsay, you don't have to feel too bad about that, about these two dingbats and their rotten answers, because my answer is a match. I wrote hand.
Yay!
So that's one match, one full match for Lindsay. And
we were all thinking my answer, though. Like, that was the first
No,
thing that came to
you. We wrote down what we were thinking.
okay, but this puzzle actually, even though he's not on the podcast, Kaiser contributed a lot of match game puzzles to this segment because this is his favorite segment of the podcast, and he also submitted an answer despite the fact that he's not a contestant. And Retro Kaiser's answer for his own puzzle, Bob the Builder nailed his cat to the wall.
Oh,
That's right up there with ear.
so we've had hands, we've had dicks, and we've had cats and ears.
Yes.
Welcome to the
I wasn't aware if Bob the Builder
Oh,
had
this
a
is
cat,
great
and
name.
Kaiser assured me that
Yeah, that's true,
yes,
that's
he
true.
does.
So Oldest can basically refer to as Retro Kaiser's Saturday night.
Yeah. Oh, okay then.
No wonder the RSPCA's after him.
Yeah. Okay then. But we got that business out of the way. So next up is Joe. Joe is gonna get to pick, and let me get rid of that old puzzle and replace it with the new one. Okay, Joe. So you have a choice of A and B. Puzzle A was the one that Lindsay didn't pick. So which one will you pick, A or B?
A.
You'll pick A. Okay.
I'll pick A.
All right. And here is the puzzle. Lindsay and Dorapka get ready to write.
Okay.
Simon Belmont is about to do battle with Dracula, but instead of pulling out his whip, he pulls out his blank by mistake.
God damn it.
Okay. And this right there.
Oh,
That's right
God.
answer now.
It's
God.
like Cards Against Humanity.
I've been playing that game too long. You already know.
Yeah,
that's
but the best card for that, though, would be the biggest, blackest dick.
Don't give him any answers until you've written your own. Okay.
That's a different answer because we all know what I'm gonna put, so we'll all end up matching.
You don't know that. You don't know that. Okay.
Do you guys know what I'm gonna put? Say what you think I'm gonna put.
No, don't say it. Everybody, Dorapka, write your answer. We're still waiting for you.
Oh yeah, okay.
Did you forget to send it?
I'm sending it now. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, Joe. Simon Belmont is about to do battle with Dracula, but instead of pulling out his whip, he pulls out his blank by mistake. What is your answer, Joe?
His dick.
His dick. When are you gonna get your head out of the gutter, man?
You
All right,
are the
man.
one Retro Kaiser's the one
Is that
supplying
going to
these
be
questions.
answer for everything?
Hopefully not, but it works
What's your
too
chance
good.
there, dicks?
Okay. Well, at least that gives a solid match for somebody else. Okay. Lindsay, what was your answer?
Banana.
Banana. So
There
not
we
a
go.
match for a dick.
Well, it's similar shape though. So.
Hush you, and just give me. That's so funny. Be quiet and give me your answer.
Valid.
Okay, Dorapka, what did you answer? What did you answer?
I said cool whip.
Cool.
Whip.
You put that together with a banana, you got a banana split or something like that, I guess.
There we go.
You put that
I
together
just
with
was-
you still
I,
don't have what
I
the
knew
fuck it
Joe
is.
was gonna do dick because he announced it also, but I
Wait.
said nah.
Okay, wait. Did you guys just give terrible answers just so Joe wouldn't match? Because otherwise, honestly, I should give both of you a rotten answer award for that one.
There we go. I'll accept it.
Okay, it was worth it for you two, apparently. Okay,
Cool,
sorry,
yep.
Joe. Mine's not a match either. I said belt because
That's not fair. You guys knew the moment that question was asked, which what I was going to go with.
Well, would you be interested to hear Retro Kaiser's answer? What he said.
What was Retro Kaiser's answer?
He said hair dryer.
I love it. You think Kaiser will go right there, but you know he's tricky like that, you know.
It's tricky like that. Although, if Kaiser had been here to give that particular answer, which I don't think I would have allowed because he would have been a contestant, he would have known. Well, I guess he wouldn't have mattered. I think he too would have gotten a rotten answer award. So I guess this whole round was basically to trick Joe, more or less.
I guess so.
I
Well,
play Cards Against Humanity nearly every week, So, like, I have a game night where I hang out with friends, and we'll just play Cards Against Humanity for hours.
Yeah.
And so, whenever I hear a question like that, my immediate response is to think of the dirtiest possible answer.
Okay, well, that's so the situation as it stands is that Lindsay is in the lead by one single solid match. So
Yay!
yes, so it's all up to Dorabka in order to win at this game. You're going to have to at least get one exact match and at least one soft match. So it's asking for a lot. And
Okay.
but we do have enough puzzles for a tiebreaker if it comes to that. So I'm not
Joe
that-
keeps saying dicks, and I've got this in the bag.
Yeah, there we go.
I will try to avoid so many dicks.
Too many dicks,
Do you
too
want-
many dicks, too many
You don't-
dicks, too
You don't want to
many
repeat that, Joe.
dicks.
Okay,
What?
then. Dorabka, it's your turn
trying.
to choose a puzzle. It's time to
Wait, I have to also send it to you, right? Or wait, I just have
No,
to.
you don't have to write anything when it's your turn on the.
Okay,
best answer.
right.
You only write when you're
It's-
when you're on the panel.
Yeah,
So-
sorry, it's been a while that we did a White Devil, so it's,
Yeah,
but
and you
let's go.
still manage to forget the rules every time, but still.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
So-
Anyway, so you have the choice of puzzles A and B. B is the one that Joe turned down, and A is a brand new one. Which one do you want?
I will do a.
You'll do A. Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
it appears before B in his name.
All right. Yes. So the puzzle goes. So Joe and Lindsay get ready to write. Sub-Zero and Scorpion are in a heated match in Mortal Kombat. Scorpion manages to finally beat Sub-Zero, and when Shao Kahn yells out, "Finish him!" instead of Scorpion killing Sub-Zero, he blanks him instead.
Oh no!
All right?
Yeah, okay, I have my answer. This is actually good because I'm really a big fan of Mortal Kombat. So
Okay.
Oh,
All right,
they're
so
after his
everybody's written their answer, including myself. Sorry for that, it took a while. Okay, Dorabka, I'll read it one more time. Sub-Zero and Scorpion are in a heated match of Mortal Kombat. Scorpion manages to finally beat Sub-Zero, and when Shao Kahn yells out, "Finish him!" instead of Scorpion killing Sub-Zero, he blanks him instead. And what is your answer?
my answer is he does a friendship finish on him, which
Does
is
a
like where you don't.
friendship finish.
Yes, that is a finishing move in Mortal
Yes.
Kombat where instead of doing a finishing move, they do a friendship, and it's
Yes,
some kind of
yes,
goofy thing.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Flower
That's a bit of a
crowns
risk,
fire.
considering the rest of our panel. That's a bit of a risky answer, but it is in the spirit of Mortal Kombat, so we'll go ahead with that. And Lindsay, what was your answer?
He teabags him.
Teabags.
That's actually pretty cool. I like that answer.
Oh. Oh man,
I'm
that is
sorry.
not a friendship move in the very least. At least, unless he.
Well, he doesn't
but-
kill
You're
him
on,
with it.
unless you're on Halo, in which case all is fair.
Well, Halo, you actually kill the enemy and then you do it. So
Yeah, but no, that's not a soft match in the very least. It's an appropriate answer, but yeah, finished. Okay then.
I'm sorry.
All right then, Joe, what was your answer?
When this question was asked, all of you immediately thought you knew what I was going to say. All of you. I could hear it in your voices. You knew what you thought I was going to say, and I did not go there. I said slaps. He slaps him.
Where does
Yeah.
he slap him?
Okay, slaps him. As a match, it's not a great answer, but it's not a terrible answer either.
like the thing is, I don't know how many. Yeah, I don't know, Lindsay, Joe, if you play any Mortal Kombat or anything. So.
That's what I would say.
It's been a long time.
Yes.
You see, I didn't know, like, if you would, because for me the obvious answer would either be a mercy or a friendship. I could also say some random thing, but yeah.
All right. And well, my answer is actually hugs him. So I guess that's
Okay.
a soft match. I guess that's a soft match.
No. That I think it would work as a friendship.
Yeah.
It's not his.
So that's a soft match, but you know what? That's not the same as an exact match. So, and not only you also have a Rotten Answer Awards. Well, so does Lindsay. But that means that Lindsay wins this match game.
Yay!
One exact match. So that was all that was all that she needed. All right, and this was another Retro Kaiser original. Retro Kaiser's answer was also hugs, actually. So, so that's a sweet answer.
But
Yes.
honestly, like I would even consider it as a hard answer. But yeah, okay, maybe it's not an exact answer.
Well, were it to be an exact, it would have to have had been an exact match. So
Fair enough.
that's the rule. It has to be word for word. It has to be the same thing, which it isn't. So that's why I can't count it as a full match. But you were in the right ballpark. You were thinking sort of strategically, and you went in the right direction from my perspective as far as this puzzle is concerned. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough. And so Lindsay is the winner. Lindsay wins a year's supply of batteries, and she could do whatever the hell she wants with them. That's none of my business.
Now
So-
I can power my drones to take over the world.
Oh man, sounds like a
It'll
plan.
take a lot of batteries. So good job.
But anyway,
Well,
It's
I've got
Lindsay
plans,
and the
let that be enough.
red. It's Lindsay and the red.
all right, and with that, we'll end this match game, and once we come back, we'll finally talk about James Bond. And welcome back to White Devil Podcast, the James Bond edition, and we're finally ready to start talking about James Bond in a serious way. And let's just kind of go around the table first. Everybody want to just say what your favorite James Bond movie is. Just to kind of note to everybody, Lindsay here is the kind of the Bond novice, but still we enjoy having her here, so that's why we had her on. Lindsay, what would you say is your favorite Bond movie of the ones that you've seen?
I'd say Casino Royale.
All right,
I like that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. What about Joe?
Goldfinger.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
Do. Sorry. I may
Although
not
that
have seen
does
all the
come.
films, but I know the Bond themes because
Yeah.
we have
Although
a
that-
big
All right,
album of it in the
all right.
car.
I'm gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about the Bond themes a bit later, but yeah.
Yay.
I was only going to say that Goldfinger, but that is with the stipulation that I have a different favorite for each Bond, like Bond actor.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
Each one does their own thing.
Yes.
Each one has its own style of
Me
film.
too. Me too. But you would say that's your favorite overall.
Overall, Goldfinger is my
Yes.
favorite James Bond.
That's
film.
I did a whole top 10 James Bond movies at one point. I actually said that the best word to describe Goldfinger is iconic. It's kind of the most iconic Bond movie, really.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Yeah. And Dorupka, what about you? What's your favorite Bond movie?
I must say just quickly that Goldfinger is definitely the third movie where they really got it down. But I would say for me, my favorite. It's really hard to choose one because, as
Yeah,
with
you can
Joe
name
has
a
said,
couple. You can name a couple if you have a hard time choosing.
but I will say one that I will say my favorite is if I would have to choose only one. You Only Live Twice, because it's I don't know, I just like it. It just has a really cool start how it starts. And
Interesting.
I mean, it has Blofeld in there. It has ninjas. It has a fucking like little mini chopper. It's just James
Sorry.
Bond where it's
No, that's-
going a little bit crazy, and I like it.
That's not actually the reason I was laughing. The reason I was laughing was because you mentioned Blofeld there, and I remembered just who plays Blofeld in that one. Donald Pleasance. And we
Donald
were talking
Pleasance,
about
I mean-
Halloween just before we started recording.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, You Only Live Twice is very very classic Bond for me, but it's where it was really good action and it was really good James Bond stuff in general, and I enjoyed a lot. So
That's yeah. In case you couldn't collect from the ninjas in that part, like it's James Bond in Japan. That's the main premise of that.
yeah.
Yes.
He on the very anyway. Yeah.
Yes, and mine has kind of changed over time a little bit. I guess it's the same, like with Joe. Like I think every Bond actor has their own movie that really kind of sticks to my mind. But actually, my favorite, and it's not a popular pick, in the very least, I can understand this, is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying George Lazenby is like my favorite Bond actor or anything, but that movie is awesome. It's
quintessentially Bond.
Yes, and it's also, I think story-wise, that one has yet to have been topped by any Bond movie. Like Casino Royale was really good, and there's quite a few. License to Kill is another good one, but like the impact of what happens at the end of that movie, and I don't want to. I don't know. Do you?
Yes,
I mean, people
agree.
listening to
I
this
know what
probably know what
I
happens
think
at the end.
I think I remember that one.
What?
I think I remember that one.
Yeah, I mean, are people probably know what happens at the end of the movie? I mean, it's the most crushing finale to a James Bond movie. It's Bond gets married, and on the way to their honeymoon, Blofeld and the company do a drive-by, and his wife dies. So that's the.
And the thing is, the movie was very more light. Like it was very like, this is the movie where I'm sorry to say it the way, but he had the most Bond girls, so to speak. Let's say it so.
Well,
that
yeah,
way.
I didn't think I really.
And
I mean, there's very classic James Bond elements, but like that core story narrative, like where Bond actually, for once, it's not just because it's part of the job, but like he genuinely falls in love with this one woman, and then she has to die at the end, like that's like a really crushing thing. But yeah, that was honestly. And before this, like, I think my favorites were, before that it was probably License to Kill, because that was another dark one. And I think what kind of made me a Bond fan is the movie GoldenEye originally. So that was kind of my first love. But,
GoldenEye is another great one.
Yes, it is.
GoldenEye is really good, yeah.
And, what would you say, what would you guys say is, I don't know, let's ask... I don't know. Do I want to go for next your favorite Bond actor, or should we kind of ask what's your favorite movie from each Bond actor? Actually,
it's not a bad idea.
Let's go for favorite actor first.
Favorite actor. Okay. So, Lindsay, what about you? Who would it be?
As much as I do like the Daniel Craig movies, I do like Pierce Brosnan. Because he certainly seemed a lot more suave.
I'm going to join with that. Pierce Brosnan is also, like, for me, and it's probably because GoldenEye was the first Bond movie, because that's who I think of when I do think of James Bond. That's kind of the iconic one for me. But, yeah, Joe, what about you? Who's your favorite Bond?
My favorite Bond is Sean Connery, because the first film I ever saw of a James Bond was, Goldfinger. It was either Goldfinger or Thunderball. I'm pretty sure it was Goldfinger.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. I'm very honored.
But after that, I would have to be tied between Pierce Brosnan and Timothy Dalton, the Bond that could have been.
Yeah. I mean,
he was in 2 movies.
It wasn't 2 movies. I mean, that's still more than Lazenby. Because Lazenby got the most rough deal. I mean, yeah, he turned down the role eventually.
Well, Lazenby got turned down because he was doing a whole bunch of drugs, doing a lot of really weird things, and they didn't want him in there. No, Timothy Dalton actually got kicked off the project.
Well, I think with Lazenby, he just didn't want to do it anymore because he said that Bond was passé, and that's why he decided he didn't want to do it anymore. And also, like, it was a big problem of it was that. At the studio, was it United Artists or whoever, like, didn't do a really good job of promoting on Her Majesty's Secret Service the fact that, Connery had been doing the role for 5 movies and now it was somebody else, and, he felt a little like, he felt unappreciated in that regard. So, but I never heard that there was any drugs or things like that. Well, it was the 60s, but still.
Yeah, everyone was like on all of the drugs in the 60s.
Yeah.
And if you watch On Her Majesty's Secret Service, you can tell it is definitely a movie from 1969.
Well, yeah. It was
that's
kind
what
of an
I
awkward
said.
period because it was also kind of an awkward period, and that's the reason he said it was passé, because the Cold War had kind of, Vietnam was already over and done with by then, and actually, like, tensions were kind of lowered at that time, so that whole...
1969? No,
Yeah,
Vietnam was a thing until '76.
Well, yeah, but by then, I think there
I
wasn't
thought wasn't the Cold War the 80s or something?
The Cold War was
between
from
the between
1945
between the Second World War and the early 90s. But yeah,
from
but anyway,
1945
tensions
to
were
1989.
but like
Okay.
tensions were already like lowering, and that's why a lot of the Roger Moore movies didn't focus that much on like the Cold War aspect as much anymore. And I guess that was also Spectre was part of that as well. They kind of that was always a clever way to kind of dodge the whole issue when they didn't want to deal with it. Yeah.
And Pierce Brosnan was a post-Cold War Bond.
Yes.
And then, they had Daniel Craig, who was a post-9/11 Bond.
Yeah, I guess. But hey, we completely forgot Dorapka. Your favorite Bond actor?
I would definitely say Sean Connery. I've seen pretty much all the Bond movies. The only one I haven't seen yet is Die Another Day, but everything else I've seen.
I saw that one in theaters.
Nice.
Sean Connery is definitely my favorite. I would say Pierce Brosnan is my second favorite, and then we have
I'm
Roger
very
Moore.
flattered. We have the same name, by the way. Did you know that?
Yes, I do.
Spelled differently,
I do.
but still.
Yep. There we go. So it's Sean Connery, and then we have Pierce Brosnan, and Roger Moore. Timothy Dalton, I didn't like him that much, but I actually watched now License to Kill. Like, I watched Living Day Nights, and I rewatched them, and they're actually really good.
Yeah.
So I think he is good. My least favorite is probably Daniel Craig, although I'll say Casino Royale and Skyfall were good movies. Were they good because of him? I'm not quite sure there. He had good
I
writing.
think it was like a combination of things that made Casino Royale and Skyfall good. We don't talk about Quantum of Solace.
Quantum of Solace is
never
definitely
happened.
Ouch.
That film
so
didn't
far.
happen.
Let's try to stay positive here because I want to because the thing is with me and also most Bond actors, the thing about Lazenby, like I said, he's not like my favorite Bond actor. But then to be fair, he only got to do one movie, and for that one,
He only had
he was
one
a little
chance.
unsure. I think he was honestly a little unsure of himself, and he was doing maybe not like obviously, but like imitating a little bit Sean Connery here and there. So if he had,
Well, he wasn't. He also wasn't an actor. He was a car salesman.
it was a
the
model.
reason he got
was a model. He did he did commercials.
Oh.
That's how
Sean
he
Connery
them.
wasn't an actor either. I think he was driving like trucks or something.
No,
so-
he was.
I know.
He was. He'd been in a few movies before Bond, but it's
that's
like
true.
he hadn't been. He wasn't a big star or anything. That was the thing. Bond made him a star, but the thing is, but the thing is, like, I do think every Bond actor has their own unique charm, and therefore, I don't think that's the thing. Like, I don't think any Bond actors have been. I mean, every Bond actor has had at least one good Bond movie, and every Bond actor has that one movie that kind of encapsulates what it is about their Bond that's so great. And for Sean Connery, for me, it's Goldfinger. But really, the first three Connery movies, Dr. No, From Russia with Love, and Goldfinger, I think that's the strongest run of James Bond movies overall. Like, I think all of those three are absolute like must-sees if you're a James Bond fan. And you can see kind of how the film series is evolving. You see also the whole Spectre thing evolving, of course, as well. But they all have their own unique charms. Like Dr. No already has a lot of like the classic kind of actiony elements into it, and From Russia with Love is that's perhaps the most like a traditional spy movie, I guess. Like, it has action scenes, but not that much. But it's more suspense, in my opinion. And then Goldfinger is kind of where, if you will, the Bond formula was finally kind of set, which is why one of the many reasons why it is so iconic. What about the rest of you? What do you think about the Connery Bonds?
I agree with you. Dr. No and Russia with Love are definitely kind of very different in many ways. Although Dr. No has at least the crazy villain with the science stuff going on, So,
Yeah.
but other than that, it's very low tone, more spy movie, At times, people might think it's boring. I enjoyed them. From Russia with Love is definitely one of the more Cold War-esque movies, although, again, Spectre is involved. And
Yeah.
Goldfinger is definitely the first iconic, and then Thunderball is like, okay, let's go underwater, basically. where for me, James Bond is always like, okay, sometimes he goes underwater with like the underwater stuff. Sometimes they're skiing behind each other and shooting behind each other, which I always thought was crazy, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, those are kind of the iconic Bond sets, I guess.
And then the one time he went into space and they totally threw out everything because Star Wars.
Moonraker.
Moonraker. Yeah, that was right.
You know what? I like that one now, but in a really weird way, and I understand why they did it because there were so many Star Wars ripoff movies, so they thought, okay, let's do James Bond in space, basically.
Yeah, but let's not jump ahead to Roger Moore yet. What about Joe and Lindsay's take on Sean Connery's Bond?
Sean Connery is
the classic spy themes, but I don't know. But
yeah,
sorry, you go on.
Yeah.
Sean Connery is definitely the quintessential Bond. He's the one when most people think of Bond, they either think of Roger Moore or Sean Connery. And there's a reason for that, and it's the formulas. Dr. No and From Russia with Love are definitely... They don't quite have that formula down. In fact, I've always kind of thought Dr. No was very much like a Roger Moore film without the comedy. You know, Roger Moore is a more lighthearted, jovial kind of Bond compared to Connery's, dour.
Well, yeah, I think Connery's a bit more rough and tumble, and he has a bit more of an emotional range. Moore is kind of like a walking parody of the franchise, a little bit.
Yeah, but he also has some of the best one-liners.
Yeah, of course. Of course, he has great delivery, and that's all part of being funny.
And let's be fair here. This series has never really taken itself too seriously when it has characters whose names are Kissy Suzuki and Pussy Galore. It hasn't exactly had.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's what they parodied in the Austin Powers movie with a lot of vagina and stuff like that. And he asked, "What is your name?"
Yeah, well, Pussy Galore does sound like a porn name, so.
Goldmember.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well, that wasn't a parody though, but still, it did fit it. I mean, well, let's not talk about the parodies. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, but as much as I do like the early Connery stuff, like the later ones where the formula kind of got said, I think it got a little ridiculous. And well, okay, I like Diamonds Are Forever. Like that one, I have a really good laugh with that one. So yeah.
You didn't like You Only Live Twice?
No, because I kind of see it as kind of a Bond movie set in a foreign language just for the sake of showing off said foreign country. And I don't know, maybe I take it too seriously. I mean, I enjoy it. There are definitely moments, especially when he's on the freaking little helicopter and flying people in the sky. Like that part, like makes me laugh. But some incidental one-liners. But as a movie overall, I don't think it works so well. So yeah.
I don't know. Like I enjoy it. I mean, Thunderball is just as ridiculous with the underwater stuff.
Yeah,
that is iconic.
I didn't really want to go into this territory, but Thunderball is my least favorite Bond movie of all time. I really don't like it.
Well, there's a lot of people who's it's their favorite. So
that
I mean, if you want to
battle at the end is the most ridiculous ass shit I've ever seen.
Like then most of the movies of James Bond you're not gonna like.
Sorry, for anybody who likes that movie, I'll shut up now.
I get what you're saying.
I think he says Thunderball, yeah.
Diamonds Are Forever is definitely brings a little bit more home. I mean, it has the laser satellites in the sky, but that's something that people were talking about with the SDI missile defense system. So other than that, it's mostly James Bond in America, which was kind of cool. So,
but it also GoldenEye also has that whole element of an agent being betrayed by themselves, and it also has Xenia Onatopp, which is the best stupid name for a henchwoman.
Yeah, we weren't up to Brosnan
worse
yet.
than.
We weren't up to Brosnan yet, but what about the Roger Moore? I think we've talked a little bit about quite a few. What your favorite Roger Moore era Bond movie? There's no point asking the Lazenby one because there's only one. Anybody here didn't like On Her Majesty's Secret Service or no?
I liked On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
From what I've seen, like I've seen bits of each Bond film, but I've not actually seen all of them entirely. But from what I've seen, I don't think it's the best. I'm not saying it's horrible or anything. It's just not the best.
That one I think has the most iconic, like the ski chase scene of all. It might have been the first one actually that had a ski scene. I don't think there was one in Thunderball or.
Which one was the one where he went down the mountain in a cello case or on a cello case?
That's Living Daylights. That's Dalton. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's much later. Okay, but what about Roger Moore? What was your favorite Roger Moore? Joe.
It's got to be Moonraker. It's just so goofy. It's
It is.
so
It is.
goofy and
Yes.
so much fun.
It
and it's got
ends being
Jaws.
So many
Star
sci-fi
Wars.
in-jokes.
It literally ends being Star Wars in the end. It just doesn't
Right.
care at the end
It's got-
anymore.
You see,
it's
that's
gotta be either
that's the
The
difference
Spy
between
Who
the
Loved Me
harpoon
or
battle at
Moon.
the end of Thunderball and the laser battle at the end of Moonraker. Like that.
Well, the thing is, Moonraker came out in a time when, with Star Wars was so huge. There were so many Star Wars rip-off movies, like space science fiction at that time in the style of Star Wars was everywhere. So it kind of made sense. I don't know the original novel of Moonraker, but
It's completely different.
Sure,
It has to do with a British kind of rocket engineer, pioneer guy who is actually a Nazi, left over from the Cold War, and he wants to blow up London. That's basically what the novel was about.
Yeah, but they retooled it into like a space movie, so it has
Yeah,
nothing
I
to
mean
do
the
with
only thing it has in common with the novel is I think the villain's name, Hugo Drax, because that's what they started in the Roger Moore era. Is when they started to move away from the novels, and I think starting from The Spy Who Loved Me is actually the first time they literally only took the name of and it wasn't a novel even, it was a James Bond short story, so they only took the name of the short story, and some of the character names are also maybe recycled a little bit, but like that's the one where the madman, what's his name, Karlstrom or something, he wants to build the underwater society. Which is basically it's
That is
Moonraker
The Spy Who
underwater.
That's The Spy Who Loved Me. Which
Yeah,
was
Spy Who
the
Loved-
prequel to Moonraker.
The Spy Who Loved Me was pretty good. I mean, it had also more underwater stuff, and it had the car that I know that I remember playing the first James Bond video game I played was based off that, and I remember it was on the C64 at my cousin's, and basically what you did, James Bond gets into his car, and then the car goes underwater, and it becomes a shmup.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
And it had Jaws in it too.
yeah, well,
Both
yeah,
of
that's
them
the
had
first
Jaws.
movie that had Jaws, and he came back for Moonraker, and I was about to go into that. One of my favorite things about Moonraker is the fact that Jaws is not only the one Bond henchman to come back, he's the only one to survive, and he even gets the girl at the end. So,
yeah, Jaws is pretty cool.
yeah, I love that. I love the turnaround.
Who's the actor again who plays him again? I forgot.
I forgot, but he recently passed away too. So
Hold on,
I'll
let me
look it
check
up right
Wikipedia. Let me have a look.
Wiki Magic.
Richard
Keel.
Keel.
What?
Richard Keel.
Richard Keel.
Oh.
Yeah, I remembered his last name, but I didn't remember his first name. But yeah, I do love the goofiness of that one. What about Lindsay? What about your favorite Roger Moore movie?
It wasn't his favorite, Roger Moore's favorite, but I do like the last one he did. What was it called?
A View to a Kill,
Yes, A View to a Kill.
where Christopher Walken is the villain.
Why
And
not?
and it's also the one movie where James Bond is trying his hardest to not get in the Bond girl's pants because she's like this really
I know,
really young
it's so
kid.
ironic.
There's a scene.
And it's also-
there's a scene.
Yep, and it's also
of, like, I'm just.
it's also the film debut of Dolph Lundgren. Did you know that? He's in it
No,
for
I
like
didn't.
5 seconds in the whole thing. He's one of the KGB agents.
Oh really?
Yeah, because he was dating the lady who's Christopher Walken's lackey. What's her name? Grace Jones. Yes. Yeah.
Grace Jones, yeah.
Yeah.
Grace Jones was really popular at the time. I mean, she was in the second Conan movie. I mean, that was just like kind of weird. But it was the more they tried to be more action oriented and go away from the silliness with the Roger Moore movies. But it was still, action movie like. And Christopher Walken in anything is pretty good. So
Even if
So,
he has
yeah.
the funniest voice ever.
Christopher Walken is
Christopher Walken is
basically
fucking
just
awesome.
ridiculous. So he's great.
I know someone
Something-
who can do the most perfect Christopher Walken voice, and we did this thing at a con called Dub That Anime, and he just did everything as Christopher Walken, including this woman turning into a cow. So he just dubbed that as Christopher Walken.
Mr. Bond, you have to realize that I am here to kill you. That turned into a bit of a Captain Kirk at the end. Sorry.
Captain Kirk as James Bond villain or James Bond. Now that's something like William Shatner.
Yeah, actually, do you guys know Game of Thrones? Like, have you guys
I've
watched
only
Game?
seen season 1. Don't spoil it.
I was only going to talk about one of the actors.
Here's a spoiler.
Charles Dance
People
as
die.
Tywin. Yeah, Charles Dance as Tywin. He was actually in a James Bond film. For Your Eyes
Yeah, I
Only, he was
remember.
one of the henchmen.
I don't remember For Your Eyes Only.
The henchmen, they just die left and right. They're like red shirts in Star Trek, you know. I mean,
Okay. Dorobka, what about your... Did I already ask your favorite?
Roger Moore.
Roger Moore era film, yeah.
I would say probably The Spy Who Loved Me, but probably guilty pleasure is Moonraker because it's fucking James Bond in space.
Yeah.
Although I would say probably like The Spy Who Loved Me and then Octopussy. Although then again,
Octopussy is great.
Octopussy is
Another
great
porn
because
name.
I know it's so bad.
Ian Fleming came up
I
with
barely
that one,
want to
though.
say it. You know?
The one time Q gets laid.
Did he? I remember he's at the big action scene at the finale. He comes in with the hot air balloon,
and he rescues the entire harem of women who
That-
who start climbing all over him.
I don't quite remember that, but I do remember he helps out at the end. Yeah.
Are you sure
I
that's not
always
the
like
version
that.
you saw on Pornhub, Joe?
I always like that. I always like that when Q gets, I do like that when Q
That is an obscure James Bond porn parody from Italy from the 70s.
Yeah, but I always like that when Q got to go out in the field. He also got to do that in License to Kill as well. So yeah.
There was one where he basically made a gadget where he could do jackpots with the one-armed bandits constantly. Which one was that?
I remember that. I remember that one. I just can't. I think that was Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die. By the way, Live and Let Die had one of the best like intro songs. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney and the Wings. Yes.
Yeah.
And my favorite James Bond movie is actually from the Roger Moore era. Now this is a kind of a funny one because I think I hated this movie for a really long time, but eventually it just came around for me. And also, it might have been the first James Bond movie I ever saw because I remember the finale so vividly, and it's The Man with the Golden Gun. And as a kid, that was the first one I saw. So the first time I ever saw James Bond, there was a midget trying to kill him. So, but I remember that so vividly when he puts him in the suitcase and everything, and he's on the boat. So yeah. But yeah, that's where that I think kind of encapsulates, in my view, like the whole cheese factor about James Bond or about the Moore era Bond films. And Christopher Lee as the villain is just awesome. Like it kind of falls into that same trend as Red Grant from Russia with Love, and then Alec Trevelyan eventually in GoldenEye. Somebody who really is, in my opinion, like Bond's equal as a villain and a gun, a marksman and everything, like a really suave guy. And basically, they go at it at the end, basically. So they have a duel.
Yeah. I mean, the fact also, I need to rewatch that movie. I've only seen it once, but I always like the idea of him having, the villain having like an iconic weapon, and it's just a gun which is golden. But I thought it was just like, it just was kind of a cool idea. I think, just in general, because it's something that it's in the title, and it's something that will stick with it.
Yeah. He has a powerful weapon. He charges 1,000,000 a shot.
You got the first line wrong.
Did I?
Yeah.
How? He's got a powerful weapon.
Oh, I think that's not the line anyway.
No,
I don't know. I've been listening to Bond themes for years, so I'm trying to remember.
An assassin that's second to none. The Man with the Golden Gun. Yeah. And obviously, like, one of the things that people probably can tell that I came around eventually because I made a bunch of, like, the cartoons starring the Man with the Golden Gun. Those little parody videos. So if people want to go watch that, they can, but I warn you, my Christopher Lee impression is terrible. Not that my knick-knack is much better, but still. But yeah,
I think I did see some of them.
Oh.
I enjoy your cartoons.
Yes.
They're really
But
good.
the Moore era was kind of that's what you see definitely with Live and Let Die, and then The Man with the Golden Gun and Moonraker is kind of like how they did a bit of a cross genre thing a little bit, like, because Live and Let Die was very heavily inspired by the kind of the blaxploitation period a little bit, and then for The Man with the Golden Gun was obviously there was a little bit of an inspiration from,
Bruce Lee in the Kung Fu movies.
Yes, and then Moonraker with the sci-fi. So, and some of those work and some of those don't, I guess, but, but those are kind of my personal favorite is The Man with the Golden Gun, and I really liked Octopussy and Moonraker as well. The other ones like tidbits here and there, like funny parts here and there. So yeah. Anything more you want to say about Roger Moore?
I remember. I think one of the worst was I think it was an Octopussy when they added like goofy sound effects to some of the things. I think that was like the height of the goofiness of James Bond.
Yeah.
When
he did the Tarzan yell in the jungle when he was
stuff like that, and when there was once like the car was flipping and it was like some kind of cartoon sound.
I don't remember that.
I don't. Maybe it was the German release.
Put it past. And actually, like, it's kind of funny that the pivotal scene of Octopussy is where he has to basically disassemble an atomic bomb while in clown makeup. So, because it's in the circus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But that scene is like actually pretty intense, I have to say, despite the fact that it seems pretty absurd. But I also like the fact that
Roger Moore is my mom's favorite James Bond.
I think he's everyone's mom's favorite James Bond.
Really? My mom's favorite was Pierce Brosnan.
Oh, really?
And at the time, my dad liked Halle Berry. So you can imagine how happy they all were when we went to see Die Another Day.
Yeah.
And then they finished seeing Die Another Day.
Yeah.
I don't think my mom really liked James Bond. I know that she didn't like Pierce Brosnan as an actor. So.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But yeah.
Had she heard him singing Mamma Mia?
Actually, yeah, she did. That's a movie, of course, she's seen, but...
Say what you will about Pierce Brosnan, he's not afraid to play against type.
Oh, yeah.
Have any of you seen the movie Matador?
No.
Nope.
He has the most outrageous stash in that one, man. Okay. But, yes. Now moving on to Timothy Dalton, who was the Bond in the late 80s, and sadly only appeared in 2 movies. He had a bit of a run luck in the fact that Albert Broccoli, who was one of the producers, he happened to die during his tenure, and there was a long gap between License to Kill and then GoldenEye. So between that time, he left the role, and it was handed over to Pierce Brosnan. And so, which of the Dalton movies was your favorite, Joe? Although I think the answer's pretty, obvious for most people.
License to Kill. Like, it was the first one.
I agree with that, yeah.
I mean, they almost kill off Felix Leiter,
Yeah. Which is kind of funny, like what we were saying about with the Roger Moore era films, where they kind of moved away from the novels already quite a bit. But actually, that whole element of Felix Leiter being fed to the shark, almost dying, actually comes from the novel Live and Let Die. So, and the actor who plays Felix Leiter in that movie is the same actor who played Felix Leiter in Live and Let Die. So it's a kind of weird callback. It goes all the way all around to bring the whole novel element of Live and Let Die in that particular movie.
And when I watch License to Kill, I always kind of get Do you guys know the Jack Ryan movies that came out in the 80s with Harrison Ford? You guys know those?
I know of them. I haven't seen them yet.
Like Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. I've always kind of had like Clear and Present
I've only
Danger
seen Hunt for Red October, and that one didn't have Harrison Ford. It had Alec Baldwin.
Right.
Yeah.
I definitely recommend you check out the Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I tend to.
Jack Ryan.
Yeah, they're on my to-do list. Yeah.
Clear and Present Danger had kind of this whole drug cartel element to it. And I always kind of got that same feel whenever I would watch License to Kill, just a little bit.
Yeah, and that was kind of like the really first down-to-earth Bond movie that really worked.
More down to earth.
Yeah, even more down-to-earth. Like the previous one that for me worked really well as a more down-to-earth Bond movie was, honestly, From Russia with Love. But because, there was really a lot of gadgetry in that, and I think... the actor who played Robert Davi was a great, villain. He's a drug dealer, but he's so much like charisma and, he's just a cocky bastard.
The problem,
everything. Yeah.
The problem with License to Kill is that it came out at the wrong time. The James Bond films of the early 2000s were, except for what is that? The one with Halle Berry.
Die Another Day.
Yeah.
Die Another Day. That one doesn't count. That's not an early 2000 film. That's a late 90s film that happened to come out in 2002. Daniel Craig's Casino Royale kind of had that same really down-to-earth, very gritty vibe to it. And it worked for Casino Royale because the environment that it came out in, a post-9/11 world, fit. But unfortunately, 1989 was, a really, really good time for, the world was in a pretty good shape. The Cold War looked like it was about to end. People were kind of a little bit more peppy, happy. They wanted Roger Moore or Pierce Brosnan's cool suaveness, not Timothy Dalton's really dark, gritty action hero. So I think... If License to Kill had come out as it did in the early 2000s, it would have been so successful.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain very 80s things about it though, like the whole, the drug cartel hiding out at that televangelist conclave or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say this about License to Kill and Timothy Dalton in general is that those movies feel very 80s to me, in a good way. You know? They're more. I don't know. Have we asked everyone about the favorite Timothy Dalton movie?
Only Joe, but I agree with him. And Lindsay, what about you?
I have not seen the Timothy Dalton.
You haven't seen them. Okay, so Dorapka, what about you?
I would definitely also say License to Kill, although Living Daylights isn't bad either.
Yeah, Living Daylights.
Isn't that the one with the higher age rating? I think.
License to Kill.
We've got all of them on DVD. I think I remember that one. It was a 15. And all the others were PG and 12 and such.
License might have it because, a guy gets fed to a shark, basically, in that movie. But,
okay.
Yeah, but to say something about Living Daylights, I like that too, also. But that's the more action-packed and slightly more comical. It's still a little more in the tradition of the Roger Moore films, but it does have a bit more of an action edge to it. But still, more. There is still a lot more jokes.
It's a transition piece, kind of,
Yeah, and that's the one where they ride down the mountain on a cello case. So yeah. Also, and the one where, although that movie has one of my favorite little henchman characters, who's I think his name is Necro or Necros. He's the assassin who's always has his his Walkman blaring that one song.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I loved him. He's he's got a great leitmotif, and he always shows up, and he always kills everybody in a very creative way. He either uses a mechanical door or an explosive milk bottle, or just something or he just strangles them with his Walkman, like he does at the start.
There was this scene on the beginning where he goes in there, and that was pretty cool. In general, I found it interesting with the the whole Cold War feel, like late Cold War feel, was really apparent in that movie.
Yeah.
Like it was like the end of the Cold War.
Yeah, John
And,
Rhys Davies was in that one. Almost.
Yeah, John Rhys Davies, of course. And it was a pretty good movie. I liked it.
Yeah. I think it gets a little overlooked because now License to Kill actually like has a pretty good rep. Like it's one of those movies that people have since discovered and now consider it a classic of this But like what Joe said, it wasn't a hit. It definitely wasn't a hit when it came out. So yeah. But License to Kill,
it doesn't mean that it's a bad movie.
I mean, Living Daylights is also a good one. Yeah.
Because people wanted either Connery or they wanted more, and they got Dalton, unfortunately.
Well, possibly that might have been the reason. I think also one of the reasons is that James Bond at that point, they were kind of getting. There was a lot of James. I think that was the point where James Bond was kind of getting old. So the difference between License to Kill and GoldenEye, that time period was pretty long, because I think people were getting just sick of James Bond at this point.
The reason there was like I said, the reason for the gap was actually that Albert Broccoli, who was the kind of the spearheaded the whole James Bond production thing, died during that time. So that's the reason for the long gap, and that was just Dalton just saw the kind of the writing on the wall, like, okay, maybe I should, maybe I'm done with this. Yeah, and then the Brosnan era. Lindsay, what's your favorite Brosnan era film?
I actually would say Die Another Day because of the amount of fun
Okay.
It's funny in some places.
It is a really funny. It's also an anniversary flick, but it's also in an interesting way. It does break a lot of like the tradition, a few of the traditions at least of the Bond series. Although it does, I think the most tragic part about that movie is that we never got to see John Cleese reprise the role of Q. Yeah, he would have made a great Q. What about Joe? What was your
GoldenEye?
GoldenEye.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. It's got the geeky "I am invincible" guy.
Boris Grisha. Yes.
Boris was great. I am invincible. Shh, frozen to death. Great job.
Right. It's got
the only thing that
Sean
would have made
Bean.
it better if. The only thing that would have made better if fucking like Mr. Freeze Arnie would come up and and he breaks him and he says, "Let me break the ice." Yeah.
It's got Sean Bean, who doesn't get to die just once. He dies twice.
Yeah.
Actually, no, he dies 3 times technically.
Yeah.
Because he really should have died after that fall.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, does anybody else find it hilarious that was the first post-Cold War era Bond, but it has probably the most Russian central characters of all?
Yeah, well, it literally starts with in the Cold War where he's fighting the Russians.
Yeah, 1/3 of the movie set in Russia, basically. Yeah.
And it's
also,
got
Natalia
one of the best...
Simonova. I really love her. Like, she's really beautiful.
And
Xenia
Onatopp.
Yeah.
Xenia Onatopp.
And I think probably one of the first like really competent like Bond girls, like somebody she survived freaking like all her coworkers getting shot up by Xenia Onatopp. She survived the whole facility blowing up on her, and she survived freaking Siberia. So she can take on anybody. God damn it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. What else? So, Dorobka, what about you? What's your favorite?
Definitely GoldenEye. I don't like World Is Not Enough, and Tomorrow Never Dies. It's got some good action scenes, but overall I find it kind of lackluster, honestly.
Tomorrow Never Dies is one of those movies that I would want to like that movie, but it was just not very interesting.
It's better than World Is Not Enough, definitely.
Steve Jobs takes over the universe. That's not exactly an imaginative...
The only thing I really liked about Tomorrow Never Dies was Wei Lin. She was a really cool character, and it's a shame she never got her spin-off.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Michelle Yeoh and Jonathan Pryce plays the fucking villain, and Jonathan Pryce is excellent, but but the bad guy is a news mogul, and his evil death machine is a stealth boat. So the same thing that they had in the Street Fighter movie.
The thing is, in comparison to the other Bond, the thing is, eventually they knew they couldn't go further because it atom bomb this, and this,
But-
and then they wanted to do something different.
The world
But
is
it was
not enough.
like,
World is Not Enough is also kind of painfully like formulaic as a Bond movie, but it had a great plot twist, which was the fact that the Bond girl we thought was one of the good guys actually turns out to be the villain, and she kidnaps M as well. So yeah, because we thought that it was Renard was supposed to be the guy with the bullet in the brain who doesn't feel anything. At first we think that's the bad guy. I mean, maybe that they
When
could
I
have done
first
some.
heard the title, when I first heard the title, "The World Is Not Enough," I originally thought, "Oh, Bond villain trying to take over the galaxy." That's what I thought.
pretty much.
It sounds
yeah.
like
Okay,
it does sound like it.
Yeah. Oh, here's a fun bit. Who knows where that title actually comes from?
The
Any of
world
you?
is not enough.
Yes. You know.
I could
No.
wiki it.
You don't. It's the Bond family motto, and they say it in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's.
Oh, that's true. Now I remember it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this: that Tomorrow Never Dies is better than The World Is Not Enough. I almost fell asleep at, so I got to rewatch it and see. 'Cause most of it, I just remember was the chick from Starship Troopers, and that's pretty much it. And honestly, that's pretty much it. I got to rewatch.
Well, they had Hagrid come back. The Russian guy who was also in GoldenEye, who had the bad leg.
For a second,
Yeah,
I thought
but-
you said Hagrid.
Yeah, Hagrid, the actor who plays him. What's
But
his
he's
name?
not Boris.
You mean like Harry Potter or something?
Yeah.
I thought also
What?
for a second.
What's the actor's name?
Oh, the
The one
actor
who played
who
Hagrid in Harry Potter.
Yeah, the guy who played Hagrid.
Let me check.
Robbie Coltrane.
Robbie Coltrane, yes, he's in that one as well. He's playing the same character. So that's another actually cool thing about the Brosnan era films is that they did have this sense of continuity, and there was the CIA agent who was in Moscow in GoldenEye. He did come back in the Tomorrow Never Dies, but he was in it again for 5 minutes, maybe in the whole thing. And actually, he played the Bond. He played the villain in Living Daylights. He was the guy who was trying to sell the Russians those weapons, and then they want to kill John Rhys Davies because he doesn't want to buy their weapons or something like that.
I would say this about GoldenEye. Maybe it's also the reason that you had the video game and everything, but in general, I thought GoldenEye was kind of a really good comeback because it has a lot of the whole fighting the Russians kind of theme, but it was also
But
a good
not the
transition.
Russians. It's the Turner. It's the agent who the
006. Yes.
renegade agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
And
great.
Sean Bean is a pretty cool villain, actually.
He's
Yes,
awesome.
of course, Sean Bean dies again.
Well, in that one,
This
he
is
had
way
to die.
before
I'd
He's
be
the
a
fucking
bit
villain.
concerned if he didn't die, to be honest.
Well, obviously he's the villain in a James Bond movie, so obviously he's gonna die a horrific death.
So he had to
So-
die twice.
Oh yeah. Because that's what you were talking about. The fall should have killed him. Yeah, from the satellite dish.
Mhm.
Well, no, I was meaning he faked his death at the beginning, so he thought
What?
he was
Yeah,
going to die.
yeah.
Then he comes back. Then he kills him by falling, and then he kills him by, dropping the entire facility on
Well,
his.
it's a movie trope. That's
Just
a
to
movie
make-
trope,
Just to make sure he's actually dead.
You only die thrice.
You know what? That's what's the funny thing again about GoldenEye is that I said that there's so many Russians in that movie who are central characters, but actually none of them are played by Russians. Like the actor who plays General Oromov, he's a German actor. The Russian defense minister, he's a French actor. And both of the Bond girls, Natalia Simonova and Xenia Onatop. Xenia Onatop, that's Famke Janssen or Jean Grey from the X-Men movies, and she's
Oh yeah, it is
Oh
her.
yes, I
Yeah.
remember now.
Janssen,
Yes,
yeah.
she's Swedish, and so is the actor who played Natalia Simonova. I can't remember her.
Oh yeah, I remember the scene where he tries to kill her with her thighs. So
Yes.
was definitely the-
she always
like,
liked a
she
good
was
squeeze.
Xenia,
Since
I
Grace-
can't breathe.
it was like this was interesting because now they have always two Bond. Well, they had that earlier too. They had two Bond girls. One who's the good Bond girl that he basically dates, and then one who's evil. Except George Lazenby, who just goes from one Bond girl to the other, and then eventually marries one. But there's literally a scene where he has sex with one, he goes out, and then
Yeah, that's when he's at Blofeld's castle, but that was all part of the plot because he uses the girls to I guess it was to spread some disease that would kill off all the crops in the world, and that then Spectre would corner the market or something like that. Is that kind of the plot? Is kind of, well, you need to see it to kind of understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, continuing on. Hey, let's finally talk about the themes of James Bond movies, I guess. Or wait, we forgot about Daniel Craig.
What a coincidence. That never happens.
No, but I'm kind of eager to get to the next topic, so because we've already been talking so long. But what about you, Lindsay? What was your favorite Daniel Craig?
I've already said mine. It was Casino Royale.
Casino
That
Royale,
was my favorite.
and I have to agree with that. I like that because it showed like Bond's origins, and that was something I really liked. I like Skyfall a lot as well, and I really think that
Yeah, that's a very close second because
Yes.
I think they're both.
I'm looking forward, and I'm
Brilliant
really
films.
looking forward to Spectre. Like I'm really like looking forward to where they're gonna take it from there. And funny thing about Skyfall, did anybody else feel like when they're hiding out at the end of that movie and at Bond's old, estate?
Welcome to Scotland.
Welcome to Scotland. Did anybody else feel like it was?
That's why we need Zookstar here.
Yeah.
We actually need the legit Scotsman.
We need a legit Scotsman over here. But anyway, so did anybody else feel? Did anybody else feel like when they're setting up the traps for the bad guys when they're coming after them, like it's like Home Alone Extreme Edition?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
That's exactly what we were thinking in my house
Yeah.
when we watched it.
I
My
love
mom's
that.
not a big fan of Daniel Craig, but I actually have to say that Skyfall is my favorite. I love Casino Royale,
Yeah.
but Skyfall is the most Bond-like film I could think of. It's more personal. It's a lot more like a Timothy Dalton style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd agree
see
that they're nearly as good as each other, though. It is quite close.
And it's also another thing that made me laugh was the whole, when he's running in the dark after they blow up the whole house, basically, and then he's running through the fields, the church, where they have the final encounter, and then there's these, the cronies kind of fumbling in the dark. One of my favorite moments is when Daniel Craig just, runs up to one of them, bounces off like a rock or something, just kicks him in the air and keeps on running like a fucking gazelle. Like the Daniel Craig gazelle kick, basically.
Just quickly play the theme from Rocky over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do-do-do.
Yeah. So yeah, that movie was great. But yeah,
That
Casino
movie
Royale
was
was
great. I like that it was the first time we ever went to like his Scottish roots,
Yeah.
when they went back to his house and stuff. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yes.
It was like as a Batman fan, I always felt like Batman is at least in part based off of James Bond. So
Yeah.
or and I felt like, okay, now he's going back to his mansion, and he had like the butler, almost like his Alfred. and I thought
Could you
in general
imagine a movie with Batman and James Bond?
they're very similar.
Let's add
anyways.
Sherlock Holmes and Indiana Jones into
Oh.
that mix.
Oh, I need to add. This is something I need to bring up because I'm gonna forget otherwise. Who's everyone's favorite? Who's your favorite M?
I never had a big opinion.
It would have to be Bernard Shaw, the original.
The original, okay? Yeah.
Judi Dench.
Judi Dench. Judi Dench for me all the way as well.
I'll
She's
go
the
with
only M-
Judi Dench.
the only M I know.
Yeah.
I know the other M, but he was just kind of like just a dude, and sometimes he was pissed at James Bond, and it was like kind of boring. The M guy, like I thought, asking Moneypenny that might be more interesting. Judi
Okay.
Dench was more interesting because she gave him more shit, Like
Sorry, not Bernard
no,
Lee, not
isn't that-
Bernard
isn't that
Shaw,
Q?
Bernard Lee.
Gave him more shit.
well, Q just kind of trolled him, but
That's-
Judi Dench was like, you're
I
gonna
did
listen
say-
to
I
me,
did
son,
like-
basically.
I did like Bernard Lee, and like there was kind of sometimes this kind of like bickering father-son relationship between them. But there's even more of that. Like, oh wait, who was it? I think it might have been like Sean Connery or someone who said like M's the father and Q's the mother or something like that. Pretty much, yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah,
They keep him in line.
yeah. Basically. What about Moneypenny then? Who was the guy between Bernard Shaw and Judi Dench?
Oh, sorry, it was Bernard Lee,
Nicolas
not Bernard
Cage.
Shaw.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. I was thinking Bernard
actually,
Lee, but I thought I might get it wrong, so I
Between
believed
Bernard
you.
Lee and Judi Dench, there was John Huston, David Niven, Robert Brown, and Edward Fox.
Have you got IMDb on your screen?
No, I got Wikia M for James Bond.
Really, all of those. I thought there was only one actor between Judi Dench and Bernard Lee.
No, Robert Brown was in The Spy Who Loved Me, Octopussy, A View to a Kill, The Living Daylights, and
Yeah, but-
License to Kill.
Yeah, but Spy Who Loved Me. Are you sure you're? Wait a minute, because
Oh, I'm including the non-Eon films too. Sorry about that. Yeah, right.
Okay.
There.
Yeah.
Robert Brown is. for
Robert Brown
the
was the
ones
second M in the official series. Yeah, that's what I was getting at. So sorry. Yeah, okay. And he did play another character, which has kind of led to this fan theory. Before eventually he took over the role because Bernard Lee died during the Roger Moore era. So
Right.
and because he played a role when Bernard Lee was alive, it's led to this fan theory that maybe he became M after the previous M died. So yeah.
I think I'm at that point. There was a theory, a fan theory that you had there was multiple James Bonds, and it's just kind of a code name.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
at this point, I am more like, well, every James Bond is its own thing.
Yeah.
Really,
It's
its own
kind of like
world.
it's kind of similar with Doctor Who, like with the regenerating Doctor. It's
Yeah.
very similar.
I think
in the sense
they
they
just-
kind of
So
put a
James
spin on
Bond
it.
is a Time Lord. That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
And they
He's
did,
a time
and actually, like GoldenEye, they actually flat out acknowledged that there have been multiple M's. That actually,
And
it's Hagrid who says, "I hear the new M's a woman," and
And
all that.
Skyfall also kind of.
Yes, that was the final nail when Voldemort becomes M at the end. It took me a while to recognize him because I couldn't quite place him with the nose.
Well, you had Judi Dench in the movies with what's his name, and then so that was kind of a connection there.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, it felt like, on the one hand, you could say maybe it's a different agent always, but
Yeah.
since they always recast Moneypenny too and other characters, it's just its own thing.
Yeah.
So it's a separate continuity if there's a different James Bond. Because I'm just
Yeah.
checking here the wiki and how many people played, for example, Blofeld.
Yeah.
With you have Donald Pleasance and
Blofeld,
Terry Savalas.
the explanation, of course, was that he always got plastic surgery to hide his identity. So that was the thing.
Fair
and he
enough.
had body doubles. He had bunches of body doubles.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Wait. So where do we want to go here? I honestly, I kind of want to wrap it up, but we still got so much we could talk about.
There's Bond themes, Bond girls.
Well, let's move to
Bond
Bond
themes
themes because
are what
yes,
I know
yes, because Lindsay
Because-
Lindsay requested it earlier. Okay, Lindsay, what's your favorite James Bond theme?
I kind of have three.
Okay,
It's
go
a
ahead.
bit greedy.
Go ahead.
Duran Duran.
With a
love
view to a kill.
I love it.
Yeah,
You Know My Name from Casino Royale.
yeah. I did a terrible cover of that.
And Tomorrow Never Dies. They're my three favorites.
Tomorrow Never. I don't quite. That was a bit of a slower one. I don't quite remember that one.
Oh, if you want slow, listen to Skyfall. But the
Skyfall
funny
was
thing is,
awesome.
though, they made Skyfall work
Yeah.
with the film. Because when I first heard it before I saw the film, I was like, really? Because I don't count the Jack White and Alicia Keys one. It's a good song, but it's not a good Bond theme. But when you compare Slowness of Skyfall to You Know My Name from Casino Royale, they're very different. And when I first heard Skyfall, I was like, really? But then when you see the film, it does fit really well.
Okay.
It's kind of the anti-Live and Let Die, which is a great song on its own, but as a Bond theme, really doesn't fit. It's kind of this weird, all-over-the-place song.
I like it.
I don't know.
What about Joe? What's your favorite Bond theme then?
I'd also like to be able to take three.
Okay, go ahead.
Goldfinger is my first. It's the classic. It's the one everyone thinks
Yes.
of when they think of a Bond theme.
Shirley Bassey.
You Know My Name by Casino Royale, because it's just
Yeah.
a lot of fun. And GoldenEye, because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just so cool.
I love GoldenEye. I love Tina Turner in general, but
That's another one I like. I mean, I like them all, but because, well,
Yeah.
we have this big like compilation album of all the Bond themes, and we would just listen to them in the car on the way to school when I was young. So, so I know I've kind of grown up with Bond themes.
Yeah.
Sorry,
they always become like
answer.
big hits, so there's nothing. Yeah, so they are always very recognizable songs. And Draka, what about you?
I definitely like GoldenEye, but if it's the older one, I also like For Your Eyes Only, and I also like in general like Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah,
that one is probably
Yep.
like Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever is like for me classic, and I always loved the beginning of most James Bond movies, where it was just this really kind of almost like a surrealist, abstract kind of thing, full of guns and women. It was always kind of weird for me, but I thought that was one of the things like, okay, I'm watching a James Bond movie now, pretty much. You know, you have the whole intro scene, and then you have him, shooting in the camera. It goes, and then one of the big exception, of course, is the newer movies and Doctor No, which kind of has that. But
Doctor No doesn't have its own theme. It just has
the theme is the James Bond theme, and then it kind of switches to Three Blind Mice randomly. It's just, I'm not kidding. It's
a regular
weird.
version of it, or I guess what?
Yeah.
So
technically, the James Bond theme is the Doctor No theme. If you want to be super duper technical, but I will say definitely I like Diamonds Are Forever because it just kind of felt like this was kind of the goodbye for Sean Connery. Of course, never say never, obviously, but like the last official one, and and then of course GoldenEye is just one of the more modern ones I like. From the newer ones, I can't really remember. Maybe Skyfall again. Quantum of Solace is again one of those movies where I'm like,
I remember the theme.
Really stuck.
I remember the theme to Quantum of Solace because it played over those Coke commercials. So.
Okay.
I heard it. So I had already been played to death for me by the time I saw the movie. So.
And the View to a Kill is of course great because it's Duran Duran, and I'm a big fan of 80s stuff.
Yeah, I gotta bring up that and dance into the fire. One bitter kiss. It's all you need.
That's Die Another Day. That's Die Another Day.
The Die Another Day is Madonna.
Yeah, Die Another Day is Madonna.
No,
that is Madonna because I haven't seen the movie.
Sorry. But I was singing View to Kill. But
no,
I bring that up because View to Kill was interesting because that's another song that I heard on the radio a million times. I never connected that it had anything to do with James Bond. And then when I saw A View to Kill, it's the theme from this movie. Okay. And I had the same thing with freaking You Only Live Twice. You Only Live Twice. I'm not doing it justice because it's... What was it? Who sang that one? Wasn't it Sinatra's daughter or somebody?
Yeah, so it was I don't know anymore. We could check.
So you've got the wiki up, you check.
All right, I'm checking up the James Bond music, and of course Doctor No doesn't really get to count because its intro music is the James Bond theme,
which is still good. Oh, and On Her Majesty's Secret Service one is also another cool one because it's an instrumental. That's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which one are we looking for? Die Another Day is Madonna. The World Is Not Enough is Garbage. Tomorrow Never Dies is Sheryl Crow. Let's see, but
we were looking for You
Only Live Twice is Nancy Sinatra.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So one thing I want to say about...
I was thinking it was either Nancy or Nina. I wasn't sure. The name beginning with N. Wasn't sure.
With Die Another Day, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I always liked the song and the Madonna music video, and because I'm not a big Madonna fan, but I liked the music video simply because it was really cool because it was literally a James Bond museum, and you had a good Madonna and an evil Madonna fighting with all the classic Bond weapons. I thought it was just kind of cool. Maybe I like the music video more.
Madonna was actually in the movie too, so that's kind of...
Yeah, she was.
Oh yeah, she was, and that's when
she was a fencing instructor or something.
She was trying to.
She ran the fencing club or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thunderball with Tom Jones. That was pretty good too.
I didn't really like that one. I have a kind of relationship with Tom Jones in general, so don't mind me.
I love Tom Jones.
Come on, Tom
Not
Jones.
unusual to be loved.
To be loved by anyone.
Yeah, that's a good song. He also, but then he made fucking Sex Bomb as well.
That's a great song, especially
Which
when
song?
you're drunk.
Which song is that again? I didn't hear quite. Which song?
I'm not an alcoholic, I swear.
Which song is that?
Sex Bomb.
Oh, come on, Sex Bomb. That was like a 90s thing. Come on. That's like a guilty pleasure. As I said, yeah, when you're drunk, that's the song you listen to that.
Yeah.
I was at a party at a convention and my friends got really drunk and just started doing the worst dance moves I'd ever seen. So now I just play that song to annoy them because they regret it so much.
Also, the theme to The Man with the Golden Gun, which was by Lulu, and I think, again, just like with the movie, I think I hated it originally because it's so intentional. It's so, like, tied to the whole plot of the movie and everything. But now, honestly, it's flipped around for me. Like, now I just love it. And also, Lulu's voice is just awesome. You know, I think she sings it so well that, you know, yeah, so it's weirdly flipped around for me, like it's because it is so self-conscious and it is so ridiculous that I actually now love it. What's another good one? What's the third one? That Shirley Bassey, she did Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and what's another one she did?
Moonraker.
Oh.
She did Moonraker, yeah, All Time High.
Moonraker was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also one of the few ones that where, you know, the name of the song is not the name of the movie, so it's kind of interesting in that way. And yeah, I also love the theme for Living Daylights. That was done by Aha. So
Yes.
yeah.
Just Stay By Me, guys, yeah.
No, it's Take On Me.
Take on me.
Hey, never...
Stand By Me is another song
by me.
Stand by me. There we go. It's
And then
late
of course there are the James Bond themes from non-James Bond things that, like we were talking about before the break.
Oh yeah. Okay, so
When you weren't talking about Halloween.
I need to give a little bit of context for this. Anybody who doesn't know what the Eurovision Song Contest is,
Oh, no.
last year, you know, it's this big pan-European. Well, there's also non-European countries. You only have to be a member of the European Broadcasting Union to enter, but they compete with these, you know, these poppy songs and things like that. That's what made this was the contest that made ABBA famous. And last year's winner was a bearded lady from Austria.
Yeah.
Called Conchita Wurst, and her song that won the competition, a really good song, I have to say,
It
was
was.
Rise Like a Phoenix, but it is the most perfect. Actually, Joe listened to it before the podcast, and he said that, okay, we need to make a movie, a James Bond movie called Phoenix, and make this the theme song, basically, because it's the perfect James Bond theme song. It has the beat and everything. It's also like, and it's on top of that, it's just a great song. So. Yeah.
I described it as I can see the half-naked women dancing in the background as this song plays.
I mean, it's perfect. It's
Would the
absolutely
women
shot out of,
have beards? Would the women have beards?
They're being shot out of pistols, don't forget.
You guys see the recent Hobbit movies?
Yes, I've
there's
seen them.
Yeah, you know, there's that love triangle with one of the dwarves and the
Yes,
last girlfriend.
Yes.
You know, so there was this great picture on Facebook I saw. There was the elf girl and then the dwarf, and then a plus sign between them, and then an equal sign that showed Conchita Wurst. It was
Yes,
And then
in Tolkien, the female dwarves have beards.
yeah, that was the joke, Tarapka.
Yep. Yep.
Got it.
yeah,
I've
and
gotten
then
it.
of course, you know, and then of course outside of Conchita Wurst, I also talked about the video game James Bond song, Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater.
Oh yeah.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
Snake Eater.
Yeah, that was very, very intentional. But hey, guys, I think we need to start wrapping this podcast up. I mean, we've been going on for pretty long now, and you know, we still got questions from people to answer. So,
Right.
What's up? And we gotta come back for another James Bond thingamajigger.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much we still could have talked
We
about.
can still talk about the henchmen, the gadgets, and the Bond.
Yeah,
world.
yeah.
It could be
In a
like a
future
second
cast, but-
part.
We'll take a little
Yeah.
break now, and then we'll answer some questions from our listeners. And welcome back to the White Devil Podcast.
face! I'm sorry. So what were we talking about on the podcast?
You don't sound,
Don't sound any different.
yeah, it don't sound much different, even with that helium. So
Wait, where's the hole I cut in the balloon?
problems we face every day. Where's the hole?
No, don't say that.
Oh,
Too
great! Now I
fond
get
of
hurled.
helium balloons.
Okay. Well,
We will be
Okay, that's the rest of that
serious.
balloon.
whoa. Okay, that sounded better.
Oh my god.
I think you were
Maybe you're
just
not getting
laughing
lightheaded.
it out too quickly. I think you were just
Probably.
laughing it out too quickly.
Okay, just don't pass out.
I
Okay,
won't, it's fine.
Welcome to the final round of the White Devil podcast, the part where we answer questions submitted to us by YouTube, but we also had a few questions submitted to me by Facebook, and a friend of the podcast, T McBee, was nice enough to post some questions here. Okay, so let's go through T McBee's questions, and then we'll move on to the ones that were on YouTube. Okay. Her T McBee's first question is: if you played GoldenEye 64, what do you if you played GoldenEye 64, what do you like and dislike about the game? Okay, has anybody else here played GoldenEye, the video game?
I've played it.
No.
Okay, Dorofka, what were your thoughts on that game?
I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm not a big fan of shooters on consoles. I always prefer it more on PC. But for that, it was the first real good attempt at it, you know. And they have done shooters on consoles before, but this was the first one where it worked and well, the multiplayer worked. And I liked the different game modes with like the golden gun mode and whatever. My biggest problem is that it's on a console, and at times it can get repetitive. Or there's some in the single player mission. There's some missions that are just repetitive. I'm not gonna harp on the graphics because at the time it was good graphics, you know. But like gameplay wise, you know, there's some things that feel a bit dated today, you know.
Ooh,
But other
nice graphics.
nice graphics, man. Anyway,
Yeah.
so it's like I'm like, will I play it again? Sure, yeah. Single player, probably not. I didn't play it quite through, but played it as much as I will. I was on a friend's place, and I usually am more used to the keyboard and mouse controls. So, but for a multiplayer game, it's not bad. You know, it's a fun ride with some friends who are really into it and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I do own that game, of course, myself. So at the time, you know, probably because I was still kind of into FPS games back then, I do have to say that for the time, it was pretty advanced for the point that it had a lot of additional. It wasn't just a run to the finish line, basically, like most other FPS games. That you actually had these different tasks you had to accomplish within the single player missions, and for that, and it attempted a little bit of like storytelling in it. It wasn't maybe entirely successful in that, but it's kind of cool how they expanded on the things from the movie a little bit. So for its time, it was a really advanced game. In hindsight, I honestly think first of all, I never played the multiplayer much anyway, but I don't personally didn't see that as being that great of a feature. And you know, it's just that. Nowadays, people remember it for the multiplayer feature, which honestly just, you know, I couldn't really give a shit. But the thing is, like, for its time, it was a very challenging game in the sense also that you didn't have health power-ups at all in the game. So,
Yeah.
So, you know, you had to, you know, if you got shot, you know, the whole point was, in that regard, it was a kind of a smart game because you couldn't kind of go in guns blazing anyway, so you had to kind of be careful with that. But, yeah, for its day, it was a really advanced game. Nowadays, I really wouldn't come back to it, honestly. The music is great. I do have to say, the music was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's about the thing that's aged the best about the game. For my
There's other James Bond games too, and also the thing about there's just so many shooters. Not everyone is, of course, golden, I guess, you know. But
wow.
But there are definitely ones that play better. Also, if you want to play a more spy, more sneaky game, there's a lot of them out there. So
Yeah.
for me, GoldenEye is like, there's other ones other games I can play that are better. And but it was fun to play in college, and yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yep. I would also like to point out that the title of the game isn't GoldenEye 64. It is actually GoldenEye 007, but whatever. People always put the 64 at the end of everything. But okay.
Well, because almost every 64 game in the early years, it was like every Super Nintendo game had like Super in front of it. Then they added 64.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, let's move on to the next question. Team McP also asks, was there an animated film that you liked for the animations and art style, but not much on the story or plot?
Oh.
I'm guessing
Wait,
that's
so
more directed towards
so
me,
a film-
probably.
Yeah,
So a film that we liked the animation-wise, but not story-wise.
yeah. Would you
Oh,
Joe, wanna go?
shit.
go? Wanna go?
That's the thing. I'm very big on story. I can forgive a lot in animation, but if the story isn't there, I just can't really get there. So I'm trying to think of a animated film that I liked for the animation, but not much for the story.
Okay, what about Dorupka?
Probably Fern Gully. I mean, the story was interesting.
Yeah.
But it felt very much like Captain Planet-y, where it's like, oh, the evil humans, they're cutting off trees, they're so evil, blah, blah, blah. And it was very ham-fisted at times.
But the animation style it's been forever since I saw that movie, but wasn't Robin
here.
Williams in that one?
Probably.
Yeah, he was the Bat.
That's the thing.
Yeah. The thing about the movie is I would have to rewatch it again, but even as a kid I found, well, this is very preachy, you know? Like,
the Goofy movie.
What?
The Goofy movie.
The Goofy
I haven't
movie.
actually seen the Goofy movie.
Okay.
It has like Disney Renaissance style, like quality animation, but it's kind of a weird father-son road trip film, and it's definitely good. I enjoy it, but it's kind of weird. Do you expect the Goofy movie?
Yeah. Wow. That sounded a bit bad when it first came out. Like it's like what I think T McBee is getting at is the like a movie that's more perhaps flash than substance kind of deal. But okay, yeah, sure. I think I have a good answer for this also. I think Fire and Ice. Do you know, Dorupka,
yeah, I know the Bakshi fantasy.
Yeah, the final Bakshi fantasy film.
Yes.
That story is as straightforward sword and sorcery affair as you can get, but the animations are brilliant. I
agree. The animation is better than the story. The story is very, basic fantasy, but I enjoy the animation and just the visuals so much where I'm like, wow, this is just amazing. Like this is like rotoscoping to its finest, basically. Like
it's basically like it's where Bakshi left off with his Lord of the Rings movie. He finally kind of perfected the whole thing, and
exactly
Fire and Ice came out. Unfortunately, the story wasn't as good, but that doesn't really matter.
Well, to be fair, I mean, the Lord of the Rings, that's the Lord of the Rings, and he adapted it pretty well. And then you have Fire and Ice.
But at least you have Frank Frazetta doing the costume design, which was definitely vital.
Yes.
I think that's still one of the funniest movie credits of all time is costume design Frank Frazetta, and everybody's running around in a freaking leather thong, basically.
Pretty much. Well, to be fair, though, I mean, it was rotoscoping, so they actually filmed live-action actors, so there was costumes, but I mean, there was not much to design on the
some poor
costumes.
sap somewhere had to wear a leather thong for that movie. Nice.
I think I've got the film that could fit in perfectly with what we're trying to describe.
All right.
It would have to be either Anastasia or Thumbelina, both by Don Bluth.
Yeah.
They're not great.
I see. Yeah.
Hang on.
Although the Pebble and the Penguin would kind of be... They all look good, but they're kind of weird.
They're
Anastasia's
no
definitely
American
a little,
Tail
like
alternate
alternate history. It goes a little overboard, like making Rasputin an evil undead sorcerer thing,
And then there's the Don Bluth film that no one ever remembers, Titan AE.
That one is
I
good.
just
like
remember
that one.
a lot about it.
I like that one a lot, actually.
I think the reason why people didn't, because this one should have come out in the 80s, because space sci-fi like that just wasn't popular at the time. I personally
Right.
liked it because
Okay.
I grew up with these kind of movies. So.
But I can definitely agree on Anastasia. Definitely. Lindsay, do you have an answer for this?
I kind of have two. First off, this film wasn't really made. It doesn't have any spoken dialogue, so it doesn't. I'm not sure if story is really the big thing about it, but Interstellar 555.
Ooh,
It's the
yeah.
it's the anime
the Daft
movie
Punk
for the
thing,
Daft Punk
yeah.
album.
Yeah.
I don't think story was really the biggest.
No,
element, 'cause
definitely
the
not.
story is very basic. The story is very basic.
It's
but
a
the
feature-length
visuals-
music video,
it's
basically.
a big, long music video for the album, and it's
Oh, it's the
stunning
Daft
like that.
Punk thing. Oh, that was
Yeah.
an actual full movie. Was that
Yeah,
actually?
yeah. It's like all.
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
made they basically made a
Ooh.
music video for each of the songs on the album, and then
Yeah.
they put it together and made a movie out of it.
A 65
because-
minute long film.
I need to watch that one because I really did like the music videos for that,
Yeah, it's the
and that
same.
they were like continuing. Yeah.
It's the same anime artist that did what's the one?
Captain
the tra-
Future. He did Captain Future. Or wait, didn't he do like also Ulysses 31? I think he did Ulysses 31.
I'm not sure about that. I know he did Star Singers, and then he did that one with the train that goes through space.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
Oh, he did Space Battleship Yamato. That was great.
Okay.
Yeah,
But okay, I think
it's a Matsumoto
Galaxy
animation,
Express
so yeah.
999.
yes, thank you. That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah. Well, okay. I guess we got really good answers for that one. So
The
yeah.
other-
Oh,
yeah,
one-
the other-
one more.
no,
one
the-
more
I
I
had two,
wanted to
I had
add.
two answers.
Oh yeah,
I
Lindsay.
had two answers.
Okay, and Darabka. But
Sorry.
Lindsay first. Yeah.
Yes, the first one was Interstellar 5555, and the other one is Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Story-wise, it doesn't live up to its animation. I think the story was a bit.
Yes,
while it was
yes, the
good, it
animation
was
is
a
better.
bit weak. But the
Yeah,
animation for the time, it was
I'm-
stunning.
Again, I'm here. I love that movie. I'm the defender of
No, I really
downtrodden.
liked
I am
it.
the
I
defender of
bought it on
downtrodden
DVD,
video game
but-
movies.
No, I like video game movies.
Yeah, no,
The answer
but
to this
yeah, we had
question
we had
is
a
that
very
we
similar
like it for its
situation on.
animation.
We had a similar situation on that Star Trek Beastcast, which hasn't come out
dear.
yet. But anyway, Darabka, you
It's
had one
coming
part.
out next week.
Yeah.
Oh, Fantasia, but that's a movie where
Yeah.
that doesn't matter. It's all about the
Actually, yeah,
visuals.
I forgot to say it, but Fantasia was actually one of the first ones that came to mind for me. I just completely zoned down on it. But yeah, definitely, that's another one. Okay, yeah, that was a really good question. And T McVie still has one more for us, and that's what's your favorite musical instrument?
Guitar
Trumpet.
and vocals. Technically guitar
Trumpet.
and vocals, because
Did you-
vocals does
did-
count.
Yeah, did you say trumpet?
Yeah, trumpet.
Okay.
Because I actually played trumpet in my marching band back in high school. So for about 7 years, I played the trumpet every day.
For 7 years, you were a little horny then. Okay. Sorry, that pun.
Only 7?
Jesus.
I love it that you just went along with that. Darabka, your favorite instrument?
My
Yeah.
instrument in general. Sorry, it just was a little bit confusing. Electric guitar. So
Yeah, I have a hard time picking. It's either an electric guitar or a saxophone. I love the sound of both, so yeah.
saxophone is pretty sweet though.
Yeah.
Like I would say this: electric
Use it to
guitar,
woo a lady.
piano.
Use it to woo me. I go gaga for a saxophone.
I said woo a lady.
So it's like number one is definitely electric guitar, then piano, then normal guitar, then what is it? I would say maybe the violin or something, but definitely let's just say electric guitar there.
Yeah. Well, you were on the heavy metal cast, so it's an appropriate answer.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, thank you for those questions, Team McBee. And let's now move on to the YouTubes and see what people had to ask. And once again, penetrating the podcast from the beyond, even is Retro Kaiser. He has
Oh
questions
my.
for us. Okay. Who'd win in his first question? Who'd win in a gunfight between James Bond and Han Solo?
Han Solo,
Because he shot first.
Not after George Lucas.
Let's okay. We nailed that question. Let's move on while we're on.
Actually,
I like it.
I'd actually say James Bond.
Really? Okay.
Well, I would only say James Bond because with he would be able to move around faster. Like it's all dependent upon the specifications of the gunfight. It's just like
I would say
high noon.
Also the fact that in the Star Wars universe, laser beams for some reason don't travel at the speed of light, so Bond could actually dodge it.
They're more like slow crossbow bolts, so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. But okay, let's move on to the next question then, because that one was a pretty easy one. If you were to be a spy, what gadgets would you use? Ooh, this kind of a topic we didn't really get to discuss, the whole gadget business. But well, what was the gadget you would want? I would want the fucking laser watch from GoldenEye.
Oh, I wanted to say that.
The invisible car.
Too bad. You get the explosive pen.
I have another one. Okay.
I want the umbrella gun from the actual assassination of the Hungarian Prime Minister.
Oh yeah, that one that had what was it, cyanide, or what did they put it in there? Did you inject it?
Right, like it was a poison umbrella.
Yeah.
You mean the Austrian-Hungarian Emperor Ferdinand?
No. I mean,
no. This was the 60s.
During the Cold War, was it like a Soviet defector who got assassinated with an umbrella? They punctured his like calf when he was just on a walk one day and injected him with poison, and then he died at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
This was a real thing.
Yeah, I know. I believe you. Yeah, but in Hungary there has been a lot of assassinations and attempted assassinations in history, so it's kind of.
What are you bragging?
No.
Just because
it's just
Finland,
sad.
there's only ever been two political assassinations in Finnish history. Yeah. And one of them almost failed. Yeah.
Look at the 19th. There's actually literally a hole in the Parliament of Hungary, in the where they're talking. There's a gunshot hole in the podest where they're talking, and they left it in there just because of kind of warn people, because at once there was a failed assassination there.
Okay. Wow.
So
this fun little question
it
got very
escalated
grim
quickly.
now. Lindsay, what gadget would you want?
The invisible car from Dine of the Day.
Oh yeah.
Boo.
Yeah,
Shut up.
That car destroyed the Bond franchise till Daniel Craig
I
showed
don't care.
up.
I want an invisible car.
No, what? Gadgets are cool.
Yeah. What about you, Dorobka?
Well, it's really hard to say because the Aston Martin car from Goldfinger, I think, was pretty sweet. But I'm gonna go with the chopper from You Only Live Twice, because that thing is insane, with flamethrowers and everything.
And you can take it with you because
Yep,
it's
the gadget. It was the gadget, so
yeah.
you
Okay.
took the laser
Completed Arnold
watch. So
Schwarzenegger to shout, "Get to the chopper!"
get to the chopper.
Okay. All right. Next, Arnold Schwarzenegger as 007. That'll be today.
Oh jeez, no.
My name's Bond. James Bond.
My name is Bond. James Bond. Girly
Thank you.
man, crush you.
Yeah. Thank you. At least we got the best Arnold imitator in this cast to do that. Okay.
Okay. Wait, just really quick. But Arnie as Jaws would be pretty good, actually.
Do us.
Okay then. Well,
the only line he gives in the entire franchise, to us.
Yep.
yeah, that was it. Yeah, but okay, let's move on to the next question. Retro Crisis still has two more. What's the weirdest? I'll read them both because they're tied together. What's the weirdest crossover across any media you have seen / read? And also, what's the weirdest crossover you can come up with?
The weirdest one I've seen is when the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles went on Power Rangers in space. It was weird. It was terrible. I wish it never happened.
Joe, what about you? Weirdest crossover?
This is a fan fiction series I'm currently reading, so that's always a place where you can... It is a My Little Pony Pokemon crossover, and it is as weird as it sounds. It's called A New World, A New Way, something like that. And it is really, really strange.
I don't know how... Well, does Pinkie Pie or somebody get stuffed in a Pokeball at some point, or...
No, one of the things that
Okay.
basically what it is the Arceus, the creator of all the Pokemon, he escapes and decides that he doesn't want to deal with humans anymore, so he sends all the Pokemon to the My Little Pony universe, and all the adventures and a few of the humans as well, like a few of the really good humans, and turns them into Pokemon. And
the humans trying to
free
ride
range.
the ponies.
No, because they've all turned into Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a
Okay.
lot of shipping, though. Like, a lot of shipping.
Okay. All right,
Fan
we'll leave
fiction,
it
of
at
course,
that
is gonna
then.
have shipping.
We'll leave it at that then. Okay. Dropka, what about you? Weirdest crossover you've seen or read, or the weirdest one you can come up with?
Okay, I have two. One that I have seen that I know about is because in comic books there's some really weird crossovers possible and have been done.
Yep.
And one of the weirdest one, I still haven't read it, but it just looked hilariously weird, was Archie meets the Punisher.
I've seen that. I've seen the
What?
cover for that, yeah.
They actually are making a new one where it's Predator versus Archie. I'm not kidding.
But how can they do anything versus Archie? Archie is dead.
That he was only dead in that's a parallel universe. It's like a dark, gritty parallel universe. They already said that.
Wait,
Shit.
wait.
Cop out.
Yes, it's a cop out thing. Yes.
They killed him defending his gay friend. Come on. That's a perfect way to end it.
They're not gonna end it, dude. It's comic books. It's American comic books. Nobody
Yeah.
dies, especially if they're popular. They come back.
Yeah, 2 words. Lazarus Pit.
Well, then at
There
least
we
have
go.
him regenerate or go into do that stupid Death
Yeah,
of Superman thing of him
regenerate
going into
The grey-haired man from Scotland.
Yeah.
right. Well, he could obviously do that, and that would have been amazing. But he could have also done like that stupid Death of Superman thing, where he just goes into a cryogenic healing sleep or whatever
Okay.
nonsense.
Well,
they
it was
came
he
up
was regenerated by the sun, basically, because
Okay.
Superman is connected to the sun. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get
Right.
into that.
Okay.
The other
yeah.
one, the other one is actually a role-playing game that I ran tabletop with Marvel Phase Rip, which is like a superheroes role-playing game, and we did actually had multiple crossovers because there was a dimensional travel storyline, and my friends, they basically the players basically they defeated Voltron, got the plans for Voltron, made their own Voltron, which was called Pantheron. And then they ended up in the Star Wars universe, and they split it a Star Destroyer in two with the big sword. So, there we go.
Wow. Okay. I don't think I can top that. I mean, honestly, I can't come up with a really good one, and I don't even know many good like crossover things that would come to mind.
Nothing really.
No, not really.
In
like,
movies they're rare actually. Although now with the whole, with this Marvel Cinematic Universe, I don't see them really as a crossover. I see them more as they should have been. You know, crossovers for me is like if a character, like I don't know, like the 60s Batman and the Green Hornet, you know, because they're like from two different companies, you know. That's for me more of a crossover.
yeah. Well, one that comes to mind is that, again, this is a huge spoiler for the friggin' Star Trek podcast whenever that comes up. But I think we came up with a friggin' Captain Planet Star Trek The Next Generation crossover because we realized
Captain
that two
Planet?
of Captain Planet and Star Trek The Next Generation, because we realized, because we found out that Geordi and Whoopi Goldberg had also been on that show.
Well, if that's the case, then we should have a Gargoyles and Star Trek The Next Generation crossover.
Oh,
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the actors voice act. The thing is, I didn't know that because I watched it in Germany, but a lot of the cast members from TNG were actually voicing the Gargoyles show, which I actually did watch pretty much to the end. But
I still have not really watched the Gargoyles, honestly. I know about the show, but I still have not really watched it at all.
It's
Yeah.
pretty sweet, actually. So.
And there's this weird one. I don't know if I've mentioned this in a previous podcast or somewhere. Like long time ago, I used to write fan fiction of my own. That's when I was kind of starting out writing stuff. And, because I love Mega Man so much, so I was writing Mega Man fan fiction. And there was one, I never did this one, though. It never got, but it was on the drawing board for a little while as a story idea I wanted to do. It's so stupid. It's Mega Man going into, well, another big part of my childhood. Actually, one of the first animes I ever watched was the Moomins. But the Moomins are actually, a literary character that were created in Finland. So anyway, Mega Man goes to Moomin Valley. I have no idea where, why, how, what they would have done there. It's just some this weird shit I came up with a long
Why
time.
not? It could have worked, I think. I mean,
I
Mega
guess
Man
just
pretty
because
much...
anime. So that was the connecting factor. Okay.
Yep.
But I think that answers Retro Kaiser's question. So thank you, Kaiser, for those questions. And thank you also for the puzzles as well that we had to do in the match game. Okay. And we still got a few in the reserve, actually, for future podcasts. But anyway, let's move on downwards to Sam A., who asked, if the White Devil podcast were to be a live-action movie, who do you cast and which episode would it be based on? Huh. That is a hard one.
Wait. If the White Devil podcast would be a live action, what again? TV show?
Movie.
Movie.
Okay.
Who do you cast and which episode would it be based on? I have no idea. What do I even look like? It's... Yeah.
I think the episode. What is it again? I don't even know honestly which episode would it be. Like I enjoyed them all, but
Well, thank you.
no, I do really.
Yeah, but I'm too kind of lost. This is a really weird question from Sam A. I mean, one of the podcasts that we probably had the most fun on was actually one of the earliest ones, which was the anime podcast. But I don't know if that would. What kind of a live action movie would that really make? Just four guys talking about anime.
It would be an anime movie, That would be the anime movie.
Okay.
We would be talking.
But
well,
then,
let's go there. Like,
who would get cast in that? Or let's say if it was an episode with you in it, who would you want playing you, Drapka?
No, we should cast each other because we shouldn't cast ourselves.
Okay.
That's more fun. I'd say you'd be played by Matt Damon. I don't know. It's the first name that pops in. Kaiser should be played by I don't know Jim Carrey, definitely.
Jim Carrey.
Pretty much. I don't know.
Can he do I don't know if he can do an Australian accent.
No, he would just do smoking, mate. I don't know. Like.
I think. I don't know. For some reason, I listen to you and I just instantly think Arnold Schwarzenegger. But
there we go.
That would be an honor.
Beast. Hello, fellow Beastians. I will crush you all today. That would be great, actually.
What about Joe? Any idea?
What?
Joe. Lindsay, who would Joe be? Who would Joe's actor be? There we go.
Nicolas Cage.
There we go. Hello, I'm Nicolas Cage, and today we're gonna review Vampires Suck. It
Not
sucks.
one time.
Oh, this is a really weird.
What's the
question.
one where
Nicolas
What's the
Cage.
movie where he puts his hand on? What's the movie where he's in the office and he puts his hand on his hips and he's like, "Not one time." I can't remember which one it was.
Okay,
I
I'm
know what
imagining
you're talking
Joe.
about, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, but I know what. Yeah.
Now I'm imagining Joe, but like Nicolas Cage as Joe, but in The Rock.
This question also.
Talking about the what is it, like Twilight or something? Twilight sucks. That movie hasn't come out yet. I'm Nicolas Cage. Have you remembered a movie where I can see the future? I'm Nicolas Cage, man. I can do that. Something like that. I cannot do his voice.
Oh! Okay, this question went.
Honor in my eyes.
So okay,
My eyes.
Hanu, who would play Lindsay? Let's just do that.
I would want to say Scarlett Johansson, but then
Yeah.
it's just a wig.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
There we go.
So she gets Scarlett Johansson and I get Nicolas Cage.
No,
Yeah,
you know
the-
what?
the
We are the
actors.
Avengers now. We are the Avengers.
The best
now,
of all
so-
actors, Nicolas Cage.
No. We
course.
are the White Devil podcast is the Avengers. So if we have Lindsay as Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, then Hanu has to be Nick Fury, of course, or Iron Man. Either way,
Thank you.
one or the other.
Sam Jackson definitely any day of the week.
Yeah,
Retro
And-
Kaiser
and-
would be Tony Stark.
pretty much. Although if Retro Kaiser would be Tony Stark.
I guess that makes me Bruce. I guess that makes me Bruce Banner.
Are you always?
Mark Ruffalo.
You're always angry,
don't
aren't
know.
you?
I don't know. Like I think you would be. Honestly, I think you would be Hawkeye. Hawkeye is the more more down to earth. That he's like, yeah, I've got a
Do I
trick arrow
get
for
to
everything.
punch him in the face?
There we go. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
I don't know who I would. Oh no, I know who Hanu is. Damn it, I know it. You are Thor. You're Thor. There we go.
really?
He's got
Really?
You're
the long
Thor.
hair.
Come on,
so-
come on.
No.
The Norse.
I know it's horrible. Hate me forever. But come on. Thor's cool though. What's your problem?
Thor's cool.
He's not Swedish.
I
don't
don't really
worry.
like Thor that much.
No, I know what his
Okay,
problem is.
Fine, and your Nick.
I know what its problem is. It's because more fangirls gonna have crushes on his half brother or his step brother.
Oh, there we go. So who would I
It's like,
be?
damn it, what about me?
My glorious purpose.
So who would I be then?
I said purpose, not porpoise.
We'll
Who
just
would
say
you
that
be?
you're Nick Fury
That's
Arnold
then.
Schwarzenegger. You can be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is everywhere.
No.
He's just hanging out there. The world is
Rocket
being destroyed.
Raccoon. You'll be
There we
Rocket
go.
Bradley
Raccoon.
Cooper.
I'm Rocket Raccoon. There we go. But
Okay, we're done with
voiced
this
by
question.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. There we go.
We are done with this question. Thank you, Sam A, for that question. It took us to terrible, dark places, but thank you anyway. Let's move on to Social Justice Warrior, who left this question for us.
I know who that is. I also know who Sam A is.
Okay. Well,
Anyway, continue.
yes. Okay. So Social Justice Warrior asked, "You're lost in a jungle full of wild man-eating bugs, man-eating plants, and man-eating men." This is a great opening.
Basically, America.
All you have on you is a knife and a
Excuse
Game
me?
Boy Advance. What Game
What do we
Boy-
have on us?
A knife and a Game Boy Advance. What Game Boy game would you take with you to make you feel more comfortable knowing everything wants to eat you? AKA, what's your favorite Game Boy game? Well, I said Game Boy Advance, but Game Boy game. Okay.
I think
Legend
I
of
think they mean
Zelda,
Game
A Link
Boy
to the
Advance.
Past. A Link to the
I would-
Past re-release on the Game Boy Advance.
I totally
Okay.
agree.
All right.
I totally agree. A
right.
Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past re-release.
What about
Either that or game
Metroid-
or either that or
Metroid 2.
Metro.
Metro 2? Okay.
Metroid 2 or Tetris, honestly. Or Super Mario Land. Super
Yeah.
Mario Land is pretty cool. I haven't played that. I didn't have a Game Boy, so I have a limited exposure to Game Boy games. So
But this is
Oh, what about 6 golden coins? You know, Super Mario Land.
Super Mario
2,
Land 2?
6
Yeah.
the one where you play Mario, that one is pretty cool. Wario, I mean.
That's.
I was gonna say, you're Mario in nearly every game.
That's
Wario Land? You mean like
Wario Land.
Wario
or
Land.
Super
Wario
Mario
Land, that's
3,
what I
but
mean,
Wario Land,
Wario.
yeah. That's a part that kind of bugs me about this question because it goes to say favorite Game Boy game, but like Joe said, I think he means Game Boy Advance game but if it was open to any Game Boy game, then it would probably be the first Wario Land. I really like that one. If it was only Game Boy Advance, then okay, Wario Land 4, because that's the one on the Game Boy Advance. Yeah, but that does it for the questions then, I guess. Oh wait, did I forget to ask? No, everybody gave their answer, right?
Mhm.
Right. Okay. Good.
Yep.
Okay. Well, this was a fun podcast. We had a lot of fun conversations, and I definitely think we need to come back to James Bond at some point. We need to have a follow-up podcast of this. I mean, there's a lot we didn't get to cover, but it was still a lot of fun. I want to thank all my guests, Joe and Lindsay. Thank you for being here.
no problem.
Yes.
Next time, I'll bring more helium balloons.
Good. And also
There we
thank
go.
Dorobka for doing an excellent job as the standing co-host for Retro Kaiser.
Thanks
you
very
very
much. I'll do it. I'll gladly do it again.
Yes. And Thank you, listeners, and I hope you enjoyed the podcast. See you on the next one. Say bye, everybody.
Bye everybody.